Welcome, Wapham crew, guys, gals, ghouls, and otherworldly beings. Let's climb aboard the mothership, secure our tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in Tulsa, Colorado. I'm your ghostess with the mostest, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. If you want to listen into our show on your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, feel free to listen to us wherever you may find the rest of your broadcasts or podcasts. But thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored to have you here, and I hope you enjoy some trippy TikToks because, I don't know, there's always some new stuff out there, so I'm always intrigued to see what is going on. But it's kind of weird with AI now, like, is that real? Is that just AI? Sometimes there's giveaways, but, pretty soon it's going to be pretty obvious that we can't tell the difference. At first with AI, it was like the hands were all messed up. Now it's timing and pauses and different things like that. It's really weird. But anywho's, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. And thanks again for coming and hanging out on the airwaves and our YouTube channel. If you guys don't mind, go on over to our YouTube channel and please like and subscribe. And like any video that you've watched or listened to, and leave us a comment, whether good or bad, as well as guests you'd like us to have on. Also, you can write me at weareparadoxmedia@gmail.com. Yeah, so let's get on into it, shall we?
So a guy playing with the Ouija board wanted to see if it's real. What he didn't know is he was really about to faff. My name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, please consider dropping a follow. I'll follow you back the first chance I get. Once Facebook reaches back out to me, I'll be able to follow you back there, but on TikTok, I got you immediately. However, let's jump back into this. So he decides that he's going to stay up late at night, record himself while playing with a Ouija board. Sounds set up, I know. Especially what happens, it seems extremely unbelievable. However, I did have an experience with this myself. In 2007, a friend of mine and my girlfriend at the time, we were playing with the Ouija board and we were asking questions that only she would know. However, she did not have her hands on this. And she said, "What is the name of my first cat?" And the thing spelled out Friskies. It was me and a guy named Aaron. It spelled out Friskies. There's no way neither one of us would have known that. Oh shit! Pretty weird, right? But after that, when we went to sleep that night, the doorknob was rattling so freaking hard, and the bedroom we were in had a door that had a walkway down to the basement. It was creepy as hell. But this guy, he for sure did faffle. Again, my name is Armin. This is The Imperfect. If you're into paranormal, spooky, weird, make you think a little bit content, you're on the right page. Welcome to The Imperfect.
You are here. Please let me know you are here by... Oh. It just moved a little bit. If you are here, please let me know you are here. Bro, you won't even believe this. Hold on. This is not even fake. Hold on. This just flew. The glass just came off too. And there's no strings on this or nothing. That is why you stay away from Ouija boards. I'm telling you right now, stay away. I learned my fucking lesson. You're here, please let me.
Uh-oh. I really like this song, so let's listen to part 4 of I Hope for the Worst.
I hope the word. Hey, this for your boyfriend. Look, I hope you only attract me. I hope every room smell like booty juice as soon as you walk in. I hope your girlfriend fuck on all your friends. I hope you take her back and that bitch do that shit again. I hope every girl you buy is fucking broke. I hope it starts snowing inside your house and your broke ass ain't got no coat. I hope your barber sneeze doing your edge up. No, I hope your barber move and nobody ever give you a haircut. I hope when you shoot it, bitches, they just laugh. I hope your son turn 14, pull up to your job and beat your ass. I hope your rent A bird shit up on your head. I hope your mama fall in love with one of your wives. I hope they get married and she get mad if your ass don't call him pops. I hope the worst. I hope you can't even close your eyes. I hope you buy all the fucking games and then break your PS5. I hope the middle of your tongue attract flies. I hope you charge your phone every night and as soon as you wake up, that bitch die. I hope ants build a pile in your shoe. Now, I hope your boss demote your ass and then smile when he do. I hope you can't ever get no rest. I hope everything you eat go down your throat and then it fall about your chest. I hope a hungry lion think you a Giselle. I hope whenever you pour out some cereal, it hit the bowl and then go stale. I hope Chick-fil-A get your order wrong. I hope when you turn on the radio, shoot, you always hear this song. I hope even when you eat, you still starve. I hope you in the grocery store right now and you get tackled by Michael Parsons. Shoot, I hope your Wi-Fi won't connect. I hope girls get cramps any and every time your ugly ass mentions sex. I hope they think you last when you going hoop. I hope when you go out with your friends, you always get the ugly girls out the group. I hope mosquitoes jump your ass. I hope your baby mama get rich and then she stun on your whole ass. I hope the worst. I hope your socks is always wet. I hope you been working hard all day, but they don't even cut you a check. I hope your ass will break next time you got a date. And I hope for every day you don't take care of your baby, you get a pimp on your face. I hope you know I'm here for a check. I hope you know that you can find me, but I ain't finna be putting up with getting fired. I hope you know that every day I do my job. I hope you know we get a lot done when you over here, but a lot more when you not. I hope you know I be wanting you to leave me alone. I hope my homegirl get me on in her job, cause you made me wanna work from home. I hope you know I ain't really learning shit. I hope you know I apply to another job, and if I get it, I'm gon' quit. I hope you know that I hate the way you smell. I hope you know I don't look at you as a supervisor, I look at you as a tattletale. And oh yeah, I hope you don't think you run me. I hope you know if you take it there, I drag you around this whole corner. I hope you know I take instructions and not orders. I hope you know it ain't nothing wrong with grown people being supportive. I hope you know I've been seeing you be late, so the next time you say something about me, I'ma tell you, get up out my face. I hope the worst. I hope they tow your car every week. I hope payroll make a mistake for a year straight and give all your checks to me. I hope they call you in every off day that you tired. I hope they say they got an announcement, promote somebody, and say you fired, stupid bitch.
Hey guys, I'm here with the long-nosed Alaskan boar chicken.
Uh-oh.
He is sleeping. Oh, no, he is awake. He's awake. I found out they love to look at coffee table books, and I just happen to have one here that's an amazing coffee table book. This is full of my hidden Bigfoot paintings.
Check it out. Check it out.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Mr.
Doggammit. It's the last thing I do. Yes, sir.
You do. You sure, Bob.
Hey guys, I'm here with the...
We're going to get to the bottom of this. Doggammit. It's the last thing I do. Yes, sir.
Gummit.
Who's that? You guys all know who that is. I've talked about him many times before. We're talking about Tim Burchett, Congressman Burchett, who, as far as I'm concerned, is a hero in this space, going on the Tucker Carlson show and talking about what's going on. So I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of all the stuff that was discussed, things that were mentioned, things that are going on currently, and really, reiterating what I've been saying for the past 2 years. So it's just doubling down on what's happened. So there's obviously been a government disinformation campaign going on for the better part of 80 years. Burchett and Tucker both assert this, saying that disinformation effort to confuse the public about this has been prevalent, and that some people don't even know that they're doing it. So there'll be representatives that think they're doing the right thing and are actually pushing out the wrong information, and they don't know it. I think a lot of people have alluded to Lou Elizondo doing that he's been fed the wrong information and is pushing that out in the public realm that is just wrong, and they're doing that on purpose. So these guys that are disinformation agents, if you like, don't necessarily know that they are disinformation agents, which is a very interesting point of distinction. He says the lies are compartmentalized through defense contractors and agencies. Even many officials don't know they're lying to the public on these issues, which is, it's brilliant when you think about it. It's very clever, but they've had 80 years to get this all in line, so it's pretty obvious that these things would be asserted in that way. Corporations control the truth. He claims that 5 or 6 major defense contractors, who am I going to say next? Raytheon, Lockheed, Northrop, Bigelow Aerospace, BAE Systems, ETC, it's all the same culprits all the time. Those seem to be the guys that have a cabal on this stuff. And effectively what they're doing is they protect energy monopolies and military profits. Free clean tech would end the war economy. As Burchett likes to say, it'll put the war pigs out of business. Sorry, I need to stop doing that, but I love him. I think it's brilliant. But it is true. It's absolutely true.
The war pigs out of business.
as Dr. Greer said from his documentary, they're protecting a $650 trillion asset in the form of oil and gas as well. They don't want this natural progression to go on to this renewable energy that is being reverse engineered from all these things we're bringing down through Tier 1 forces, SAS, under the guise of this thing called Office of Global Access, which has very quickly been taken off the website. You can't even search that anymore. Nothing comes up anymore. But it did a couple of years ago, but now it doesn't. This is the brainstem, if you like, that's been set up by the CIA to basically have these crash retrieval programs go out there and use the SAS, Spetsnaz from Russia, and other special forces teams around the world, SEAL Team 6, to collect these things and bring them back to secure locations. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Groom Lake, Papoose Lake. Should I say more? Yes. This stuff just comes off the tongue now. It's easy now because it's a lot of repeating of the same stuff, but it's important that we keep ramming this home so you guys understand the process of how this works and the compartmentalization going on. It believes that disclosure is blocked, again, to protect the energy monopolies and military profits. Witness accounts and whistleblowers. So he says pilots in the Navy and Navy officers personally describe craft the size of football fields moving silently in excess of 200 miles an hour. That's in excess of 200 knots, by the way, underwater. The size of a football field. I don't care if it's American or Brit or like how the rest of the world calls football or American football. That's a big ass object, okay? Moving in excess of 200 miles an hour underwater. The fastest thing we have, and I would say it's like an attack submarine, probably like a, I don't know if they're called Los Angeles class anymore. I can't remember all the classes anymore, but these things probably at best were pushing 35 knots, and that's, with the reactor being pushed to like 100+%, probably more. To get that kind of speed. But that's as fast as you're going to get, because you've got to think about water displacement. It's an object, physical object. But again, as I've said to you guys before, they're not using conventional forms of propulsion. They're using something else, which does exist because it's been seen, which means that we need to revisit, as I've said in previous videos, Einstein's theory of relativity. I think that these rules that we're witnessing through these other forms of propulsion are using different things that went black back in the 50s. There was a lot of people that are involved in this and operations regarding this stuff, and these things went dark, they went black, or they shut them down. Normally when they shut these things down, it's because it actually works, and they're like, no, we can't let people know we've got this, got this down. And I think this is the biggest kept secret, is that there is a lobby for this technology, which is in fact anti-gravitic technology. That's what it is. We've worked out a way of circumnavigating conventional forms of propulsion and Einstein's theory of relativity. There is another way of doing that, where you effectively, I told you guys before, you bend space and time, and point A, point B coexist in the same space. That object goes through both those points, and then space goes back to normal. So technically, it's not really moving. Your surroundings are moving. Try and get your head around that one. That's why these things aren't breaking the speed of sound when they go past at stupid miles an hour, because technically, they're not moving. We are. Make that make sense? I've just tried in a very basic format. And if you want to learn more about that, watch the movie Event Horizon.
Oh my God.
Sam What's-His-Face explains it very well. The same guy from Jurassic Park is also in Event Horizon. Anyway, we're going off topic here. So, congressional cover-up. So again, his two-page UAP Disclosure Act was sidelined. Schumer's version created another Warren-style commission to bury it. So, that's interesting. So he's suggesting, I don't know if that's correct, but he's suggesting that Schumer's version created another Warren-style commission to bury it. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Schumer made this whole thing happen to try and bury the situation. I don't think that's the case. Because I've read that amendment so many times, SA 2610, and now the new one, SA 3111, which is basically similar to the first one, the Schumer amendment, but it's just been rewritten. But yeah, we'll touch that bridge, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It mentions suppression of intimidation of servicemen who talk, including medical records. Again, we know all this. We've been talking about this for months now. We know that there are whistleblowers in these places that are signed to an NTA, and if they're caught talking about this stuff, they are under threat. In some cases, these guys lose their lives. They are unalived because they are not allowed to talk about this stuff outside of the private contractor they're working for, or in this case, defense contract, whatever you want to call it. Primarily aerospace, I think we can all agree on that. He talks about a bit of cultural and biblical framing here, references Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel as an ancient UFO account. Again, that could be interpreted in different ways. He says he's Christian but open-minded. I don't think we're the best God can do. What he believes UAPs are, he said they're not Russian, they're certainly not Chinese or US tech, possibly non-human craft operating from deep ocean zones. Some may have been here thousands of years. Now, this keeps popping up, and I think that this falls in line with this really cool device that was made. I'm not sure if it was by Northrop Grumman or Lockheed Martin, and it looks like a manta ray. I think it's actually called a manta ray.
Nice.
I'll put a picture up of it now so you guys can see it. But this thing seems to be getting mass produced. And I have a feeling, I have a very sneaky suspicion that they're building these things to map the Pacific Ocean specifically. Some of the deepest parts of our ocean is in the Pacific. Laurentian Abyss and all those places are very, very deep. And I have no doubt in my mind that these things are being built to go and survey the surrounding area to see if they find anything. And I think that's the reason why this manta ray thing has been designed and made. I don't think it's to... It could be used for defense purposes or to aid existing submarine classes that are constantly on call around the world. It might be like the similar thing to what we've got with Gen 6 aircraft that are coming and associated drone technology that flies in unison or in a formation with an actual pilot, so you can send these drones off to do individual tasks whilst you can stay on mission. Maybe this manta ray thing is the same thing but for submarines. I don't know. Again, that's speculation and I can't prove that. But, you know, it's pretty wild, this thing, and it looks like it can go pretty damn quick in the water. And what they're saying that it does is that when it gets low on energy, it comes to the surface and then obviously has solar panels or whatnot, or gets charged somehow, and then once it's fully charged, it submerges again and just carries on. But it just keeps going on and on and on. It doesn't need to stop, which is quite interesting. So we'll find out more about what that's all about. But I think there is a lot more about these underwater encounters that I don't think are getting enough attention. We've had a few people come forwards in the last hearing, had some people mention this, and stuff over the oceans, which seems to be quite prevalent. So we need to do some investigating into that, and I think that that's probably being done to find out more, unless they've stopped for obvious reasons. Maybe they've been given a warning that, no, stop coming down here. This is our area, bugger off. We don't know. We just don't know. And if you want to learn more about that, there's a very good film called Abyss that was done by
such a good one too.
James Cameron back in the day. Very good movie, and it is just exactly about that. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool movie from back in the day if you want to watch that.
Seriously.
He's saying, why disclosure won't happen? Nothing will happen until the US president says enough. So unless Trump, he says, believes only Trump might order full disclosure. Unless Trump comes out and goes, right, we need full disclosure, which I don't think he will. No. We're going to be stuck in this circle.
Circle jerk.
You know, allegedly, Ross Coulthard said that he was threatened, and that's why he's gone quiet on this situation. But final takeaway is that Burchett said that we're being lied to, Congress funds it, the media mocks it, but people deserve the truth. And Tucker has said if the government runs a disinformation campaign on its own people, that's reason enough for revolution. So I'll leave you guys with that. Very interesting piece. Let's see what comes of all of this and go from there. But you heard it first from DK. Thanks very much. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks, DK.
Alright guys, we're jumping into today's video, of course, with more UFO, UAP stuff from back in the 1940s. So in this video clip, you're going to hear actual testimony from Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Stevenson. You guys know I've talked about him before in a previous video, and I'll try to link that in the description if you guys want to learn a little bit more about him. But he's talking about some of his experiences and stuff, and he's written over 50 books, which are very difficult to kind of find nowadays. I'll see if I can try to dig some of those up and find some of those, but I at least wanted to show you this clip where he's talking about different UFO and UAPs, and the most interesting one was the one from China. So I am going to quit my yapping and go ahead and let this play and let you guys listen to this, and I'll be back in just a minute.
On the old tin-type cameras was one at Drobak, Norway, showing a photographer with the big bellows over his head and a big camera on a tripod was taking a scene of the harbor, and after late afternoon scene of the harbor, early evening, and he saw an object moving from right to left across the field of view, snapped a picture of it, and got perhaps the first photograph of a UFO at close range in Earth's atmosphere in the sky here. And that picture was taken on the 27th of July of 1907 at Drobak, Norway. The next picture of importance, and probably the second or third picture of UFOs taken, was photographed by Mr. Alfredo Fandricas, a weekly news magazine reporter for a paper in Fatima, in Portugal. And you know, the operations began in September, in August, 13th of August, 13th of September, and the 13th of October. In the first apparition, the children saw the sun swooping overhead, and an apparition appeared, and to 3 shepherd children, they reported that to their priest. The priest went with them the next time. The apparition happened, only the 4 people saw it. They got the word that it was going to happen a third time on the 13th of October. Now, all this is predicted in advance. And by the time of the third anticipated apparition on the 13th of October, there were 12,000 people gathered in the fields there. When the object appeared, it was brilliant, came through saw a spot, and it emerged through the underside of the clouds. It was rotating on a vertical axis, began to swoop over the heads of the crowd like this, making low passes back and forth over the crowd. Alfredo Fendricas got 2 pictures with his camera of the object in the sky. We have one of them here. It shows up as a brilliant ball of light below the clouds.
Wow.
It's a tintype, so it's not the sharpest picture of all. The next pictures of consequence were the pictures taken during the Japanese invasion of China and their Manchurian operation. They used aircraft, and objects appeared over the flight line of the Japanese bombers preparing for missions. They appeared following the bomber formations in flight. They appeared in the sky above formations. They even passed through formations, much like the Foo Fighters of modern war history, except they were something else then. And it was during that time, during the Manchurian occupation, that a Chinese or a Japanese general in the occupation forces was walking down the street in Tianjin, China, and his attention was drawn to an object in the sky because the street photographer, one of those with the old bellows camera, had set up, and people started pointing and shouting and pointing to the object in the sky. Rickshaws stopped, crowds stopped, people pointed. The tintype cameraman aimed his camera and took one picture of the object coming down the street. The Japanese general went over and bought it and took it back to Japan, and that's the photograph made in 1942 at Tianjin, China, in the middle, full daylight. Importance was one that was made over Los Angeles on the 24th, the night of the 24th to 25th of February 1942, and this was after our war with Japan had started, and we had our cities in blackout at the time. Los Angeles was blacked out every night, San Francisco, San Diego, the whole west coast of the United States. And at early in the morning, like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, disc-shaped objects appeared over the city, and the anti-aircraft batteries turned on the searchlights. The objects passed back and forth through the searchlights, some dozen objects.
A few people died, none of it due to UFOs. Yeah, wrecks, accidents as far as like tripping and falling and different stuff like that.
In the sky. They started, anti-aircraft batteries started firing on them, and they fired 1,430 rounds, anti-aircraft rounds of ammunition. Didn't hit a thing that night. I killed a few people. The falling metal from the anti-aircraft shells killed people, dogs, set houses afire, did a lot of damage, but didn't hurt any, didn't bring down any alien craft. The next one of serious importance, again, was before, well, it was after Kenneth Arnold described flying saucers here. That was in 1949. But the next photo event of interest happened on the 17th of March of 1950 at Farmington, New Mexico, when on that day, Mr. Walter Rogel, managing editor of the Farmington Times, published news on the front page of his paper, "Huge saucer armada jolts Farmington." Now what happened on that day, the town's population of about 5,000 people then, looked up and saw spaceships, circular, disc-shaped, metallic disc-shaped craft with domes on the top, passing over their city. They were changing position within the formation like a flock of bees or birds. They did not maintain a regular established formation. It was just a large gaggle of objects that flew over. Hundreds of them flew over for almost 2 hours, and the same thing happened the following day. One picture escaped collection by the military people that went there and canvassed the houses. They took all the pictures, took cameras, but somebody had left town after taking the photographs and took one to Durango, Colorado, where he turned it into the Durango paper, and Durango published this one photograph. Shows about 7 or 8 of the objects in the sky, 5 of them in a loose formation at lower level, and 4 or 5 at higher levels beyond it.
And get a copy of this article.
Walking in the woods on the 23rd of April 1950, was crashing through the underbrush, and he emerged into a clear area not far from Redbud, Illinois, facing the southwest. He came into a clearing from the south side, and as he stepped into the open area, he saw a large object hovering just over the scrub bushes there. Now, this was about 30 or 40 feet in diameter, and it was less than 100 feet high. It was below the tops of the trees. And as he stepped into the clearing there, it started to move. Slowly at first, and then faster and faster. He had time to open his reflex camera, where you look in the top, and they're hard to sight in because the scene moves the opposite direction once you move the camera. And he got it open and got one picture, and by the time he could roll the film and get set up again, it had moved so far away he was afraid he wouldn't get it. He snapped the picture. He got a little dark spot in the sky, but it was not very definitive. It was just a dark smudge. The first picture was a good, sharp, clear picture. And he turned it over to the local newspaper, and it was published on the paper. And a few days later, he was contacted by a newsboy who was throwing papers that time of day down the road in a rural area. And the newsboy said that he saw the object coming from the direction of the woods, heading down the highway at about 5 times the speed of an airplane. And he looked up at it and saw it, and down the road a little ways, he came on a man and his wife working on the roof repairing it, and he said, "Did you see the thing that just went over?" And they said yes, they had watched it also. So there were other observers that corroborated Dean Morgan's story, and they came out in news reports the following day. So that was an interesting sighting because it represented a type seen rather close up and photographed within 150 feet.
I remote viewed the objects first, and I basically was determining that it was more of a craft, more of a mothership.
Okay.
I'm not the only one who came up with this idea. Like I already basically expressed it to other people I know, and a lot of other remote viewers have also been saying that I can confirm whatever you've been seeing. And then more recently, I was in touch with a person, like a scientist. So I spoke to an astrophysicist who worked at CERN, and she opened up to what she experienced there. And I was quite amazed by the content. So indirectly, she was introduced to me from a person in the intelligence world, and she felt compelled to address it. She was more of a consultant working for CERN.
Okay.
And as a young person, she was basically at the same time shocked and excited about what she saw and what she heard. And the content of that was at CERN, they've used their collider to open up a portal to communicate with extraterrestrial beings.
Wow.
And one of them are the occupants from 3i Atlas.
Okay. That's an incredible statement. So you remote viewed 3i Atlas. Did you do that on your own, or were you tasked with this assignment?
I was tasked by the same intelligence people I'm working with to look at the object, because those had concerns. But what I saw as a remote viewer was a mothership with occupants on board, and they were mostly Draco reptilian occupants.
Okay.
That's what I saw as a remote viewer. And
that was corroborated by other remote viewers seeing the same thing.
That's correct. Yes.
The ship and Draco.
That's correct. One of them is John Vivenko, who is also a known remote viewer. Mm-hmm. And he announced it publicly as well. And other people from the Stargate program as well. So they basically all came up with the same idea.
Like, how many people or how many Draco can a craft that size house?
So I remote viewed the craft, and I got direct information from that.
Okay.
And my take on that, I did just remote view the amount of people on board. I also remote viewed the technology what's inside, the whole decks, the pods, the whole thing on the inside. So I can see they are using antimatter and fusion technology, and they also have pods housing less than 5 million Draco reptilian soldiers inside. And so they're all dormant. They're not using space. They're not eating. They're not doing anything. They're just basically just waiting to be awakened. And they're all in pods.
You use the word soldier.
Yes.
That is a little unnerving.
Yeah, I mean, the Draco race is known to be fighting wars in other galaxies, and obviously they destroyed the Pleiadians' home planet. So that's in their genes. That's what they do. And at the same time, it's for their own safety, that they are trying to protect themselves. They don't know what's coming. They don't know who they're going to be facing. So that's why they keep those soldiers in that situation. They're not active. So when they travel through space, they just keep them in that state.
Oh, so it doesn't mean they're necessarily coming here with soldiers to attack.
That's correct. It doesn't mean that they're coming in to wake them up all and, to invade Earth. That's not the plan. I'm just saying they are there, just in case, because it is a mothership.
All right, Sebastian, big question. While you were remote viewing 3i Atlas, this comet, did you pick up on any type of agenda for why it's approaching Earth?
Yeah, but I don't think I want to talk about that. It's just, I believe that, yes, there is an agenda from the Dracos, but at the same time, for whatever I've seen moving forward, either way, humanity will prevail. And with the help of the Galactic Alliance, I feel pretty confident that whatever is at play won't be successful. I remote viewed the objects first, and I basically was determining that it was more of a craft, more of a...
The other day I had a guy say to me, "Oh, what did you get all dolled up to find a man tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, I find it much easier to lure them in when I'm good looking. That way I can bring them home and sacrifice them to Satan." He didn't like my joke. The other day I had a guy say to me, "Oh, what did you get all..."
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee.
Patrick. Mr. Skinner. What?
The second thing about safety is... Let's have a quick safety meeting. First thing about safety... The second thing about safety is... And that's it for today's safety. Come back tomorrow for more. Let's have a quick safety meeting. First thing about safety...
The following footage came from Iraq during the invasion of Iraq in 2002. I know it started in 2001, but peep this. My name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, consider dropping that follow. It'll mean the world to me, and I'll pick you back up as soon as I get a chance. My Facebook page is frozen, but if you're on TikTok, I'll scoop you back immediately. Let's jump back into this. So a Green Beret, let's just go by the name John, because that's all they're producing right now. I did talk to several individuals that confirmed this footage. However, the skeptical side always wants to know, what am I sharing? What am I looking at? So I put it under the scope of deepfake, completely analyzed 100%. It came back as 97.9% authentic. So it peels off layers and shows what's supposed to be there. All this stuff was recorded. Now, why would a Green Beret prop all this, including real gold? However, this was supposedly, allegedly, the tomb of Gilgamesh. What? And he opens his eyes. Oh shit! Now, there's also a story about the Kandahar giant in Iraq. Same skin color, about the same size. The being, entity, whatever you want to call it, that was in that tomb was over 9 feet tall. Pretty interesting, right? However, the encryptions on that golden breastplate match the Bugosphere. And I did connect that with ChatGPT, and they absolutely match. There is a hidden message on there. If you want to see what it says, hit the links, go to YouTube. The videos are going to drop soon. Again, my name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you like the content, drop the follow. It'll mean the world to me. I'll pick you right back up.
3i Atlas has some strange coincidences taking place, and let me tell you why, right?
Do you see this? I shared a map like this the other day, and it was from Burnham. Oh my gosh, what is his name? And he's an astrologer and a volcanist, etc., etc. Like, he does all kinds of stuff as far as that goes. And Jeffrey Burns, I think it is. Burns. Mr. Burns. Oh no. Oh, here we go. But anywho's, I shared a picture of, well, actually 3 under where I was sharing his stuff and all these comments coming at the same time. Stephen Burns is the name. Stephen Burns. Look at this. It's like I'm going to make a pincushion. And as everything rotates, of course, they have different locations, etc., etc. But this is scary stuff.
When
Seriously.
3 Atlas reaches perihelion, which is around October 29th, which is the closest approach to the sun, it's flying off up into the distance there. There's about 17 comets that have now been identified, which are currently actively flying around our solar system from the original 7 to 9, which was talked about, but there's 17 flying around, right? So, let me replay this for you in just a moment. When 3 Atlas hits perihelion, the closest point to the sun, all 17 comets are pulled in close to the sun itself, right? As 3 Atlas is approaching, and then when 3 Atlas then disappears off into the distance, all of the comets then kind of span out and go back out into the solar system. And you may go, why is this a bit weird? So the number 17 in symbology actually symbolizes victory, new beginnings, spiritual harmony, forgiveness, and mystique, if you want to get a little bit funny about it. Also, October 10th, over an hour to 2 hour period, giant type structures flying towards and into the sun. So right now we have a whole load of activity, and there's a load of strange spiritual significances taking place, whether this is just coincidence once again, but it seems to be a lot of coincidences taking place with all of this object and stuff happening in our solar system right now. So yeah, victory, time of reflection, dark work, you know, with all the solar flares and things like that blasting out towards 3 Atlas, out into the solar system, hitting Earth. We're going to get spiritual with it. It's kind of blowing into us and basically shining a light on the darkness and making people work on themselves, if you want to get funny with it. But yeah, very strange time. You guys let me know what you think. Also, crazy stuff happening. 3 Atlas has
3i Atlas. Viral leaked footage sparks global concern over mysterious space object. Source classified satellite footage leaked on Reddit October 10th, 2025. Analyzed by independent researchers and astronomers. Object 12 miles long. Size of Manhattan. Anomaly appears surrounded by an electrical charge. What we know so far. A private aerospace company's satellite captured this footage in black and white, showing a massive oblong object drifting toward Earth. Officials claim it's the asteroid dubbed 3i Atlas, but the video reveals bizarre details. Unidentified energy field pulsing around it. Natural? Artificial? Shape resembles a mix.
The Conjuring House auction has been cancelled. Someone made a deal with Jacqueline Nunes, the owner, who went crazy last year. The Conjuring in Rhode Island.
Okay, so supposedly somebody made a deal and Jason Hawes paused the fundraiser because they're trying to do a fundraiser to raise funds to purchase this house. It makes me wonder, like, how much is it being sold for? It could be a pretty penny, being that it's a place where people will pay to go and investigate, but he did a pause on that, and then he's like, okay, pause is over because it fell through or whatever, and we're still going to be able to bid on it, so...
It's been abandoned for over a year. Who do you think bought it? There will be clues. The Conjuring House.
My grandma's house was extremely haunted, and I used to babysit there, story time. When I was little, the adults would go outside and party all night long, and I would stay in the house and watch the kids, and on this night, I was babysitting a family friend.
Come on. No. I've been doing so good so far, too.
Friend's daughter named Cam. So like every other weekend, we were in the house watching TGI Friday, waiting on Step by Step to go off so we could watch a movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So we eat supper, take a bath, watch our movie, and we go to bed around 10 o'clock. Cammy was like 5 or 6 years old, and anytime she got scared, she would run down the hallway, come in my room, and jump into bed with me. I would hear her little feet stomping down the hallway like toot toot toot, so I recognized the sound every time. Well, around 1 a.m., I hear her feet stomping down the hallway, so I assumed she was coming to jump in the bed with me. But like a good 30 seconds goes by and she still hasn't come into my room, so I whisper, Cammy, come on. I sit up in bed and go, Cammy, is that you? My door's open, come on. And then my door slammed shut, so I thought it was her. So after the door shut, I see this white blur darting around the room like on all fours, and I'm like, Cammy, stop, you're gonna get us in trouble, get up here. I sit up in bed and I can barely see this thing because it's darting around so fast on all fours, so I yell, Cammy, stop, you're scaring me. As soon as I said that, this thing went underneath my bed, so I leaned over and said, Cammy, get up. There ain't no way I'm going down there, get up here. I see a little kid hand sticking out from underneath my bed, so I reach down to grab it, and before I can get to it, my bedroom door opens and it's Cammy standing there. She said, Alicia, I'm scared, can I sleep with you? I said, no, we ain't sleeping in here, so we took off running back to her room and hid underneath the covers. So we finally fall asleep, and a couple hours later, Cammy wakes me up and says, Alicia, look over there. What is that? There's something in the corner, look. I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't want to look because I knew damn well what it was. I've seen it a million times before, so I told her, I was like, just go back to sleep, don't pay it no attention, it'll go away. So she rolls over and hides her face in my chest, and I pick over the covers and look, and it was that black shadow with the red eyes hubbed up in the corner staring at us. So I'm making direct eye contact with it, and Cammy whispers, what if it tries to get us? What if it gets us, Alicia? I'm scared. I said, don't worry, it won't get us. And then I watched it disappear. Right as I'm dozing off, Cammy says, Alicia, I have to pee really bad. I said, is there any way you can hold it? I don't want to go down that hallway. She said, no, I'll pee on the bed. I thought to myself, oh my God, it's hard enough for me to get down that hallway by myself. How the hell am I going to get both of us down that hallway without that thing getting us? I try to cut the light on, but it wouldn't stay on. It never did. And I get her, and we start walking down the hallway, and I feel that thing on the back of my neck, so I push her, and we take off running. She's sitting on the toilet trying to poop. I'm standing in front of the mirror, and I hear something scratching on the bathroom door, and I knew it wasn't a dog because we didn't have pets in the house. It was that thing. For some dumb reason, I thought if I kicked the bathroom door open, that would scare it away. So I kicked the bathroom door, and then I stuck my head out the hallway to see if it was still there. So I look down the hallway, and I see what looks like Cammy peeking out from my bedroom door around the corner, looking at me smiling, and I look back on the toilet, and Cammy's sitting there trying to poop. That tells me whatever that thing is still in my bedroom, and I'm not going back in there. And what scared me even more was the fact that it was trying to make itself look just like Cammy to lure me out. So when she got done, I said, look, when I say go, you take off running back to your room, don't look either way, and get underneath covers. And that was what we did. Well, at some point in the night, the adults get done drinking and partying, so they all come in, and her mom sees us asleep in their room and doesn't want to wake us up, so she goes to sleep in my room. You know, that demonic hellhole that I call a bedroom. Yeah, that's where she chose to go to sleep because she didn't know about all the hauntings. So around 4 a.m., Cam's mom hears my bedroom door shut, and she thinks it's somebody from the outside closing it so she can get some sleep, but she had no idea all hell was about to break loose in that room. It was right around daybreak, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, that we hear her mom screaming the screechiest screech you could imagine. She woke the whole house up. She was yelling, Cam, how did you get up there? Get down from there. What's wrong with your face? Your eyes? Oh my God. But me and Cam sit up in bed and look at each other like, who is she talking to? So we go out in the hallway where she meets us, and she says, wait a minute, if you're there, who's that? Wait, how are you in here? I just saw you on the ceiling. Oh, hell no, we're getting the hell out of here. So she grabbed their stuff, she snatched Cam up, and they took off, and we didn't see them for a while. Y'all, it's almost Halloween, and I'm so excited, so stay tuned for more scary stories. My grandma's house was
Og's barking is a government experiment to terrorize people in poverty.
What?
Check this out.
Do y'all hear the dog?
There's a dog barking in the background.
One time, 2 weeks ago, I was like stoned, and I woke up at 2 in the morning, still stoned, and I heard that dog barking. And the way it barking, it just sounded exactly the same pitch every time, like. And I got really creeped out because I started to feel like, what if the dog barking is a government experiment and it's really just someone playing a dog barking over a loudspeaker?
Almost like it's pre-recorded.
Like terrorizing low-income neighborhoods so that we can't have peace. Like, this is literally how
It's not that far-fetched of a theory.
And I swear, I bet you that is real in some way.
It's like the movie They Clone Tyrone. Check it out.
That's not a real dog. It's kind of like how in San Francisco, some businesses will play classical music super loud over the speakers outside of their business so that homeless people won't loiter and, you know, hang out or sleep. And of course, a lot of homeless people will still stay out there and still sleep anyways, despite the music, but
stay weird, y'all.
It creeped me out thinking that, like, wow, like, this could all be a experiment.
Og's barking is
The Shanghai tunnels are a series of tunnels underneath Portland, Oregon.
Yes,
now, they go back to the 1800s when they were actually built and used to Shanghai people. Now, a lot of creepy stories have came out of the Shanghai tunnels. This is one of them. Now, there was this man named Sean. Sean grew up in Portland, Oregon, and he worked downtown. And one day when he was going to work, he ran into this homeless man named Eli. And he felt really bad for him, so he gave him $10. Well, he continued to see Eli, and they end up becoming friends, and he would constantly give him money like here and there. Well, one day he was downtown and he runs into Eli, and he gives him a couple bucks, and they start talking. And he asks Eli, like, hey, have you ever heard of the Shanghai tunnels? And when he asked Eli that, Eli just kind of like tensed up and started shaking and was like visibly scared. And he's like, yeah, I know about the tunnels, but I don't like to talk about it. I had a friend who went down there, and he said he encountered something, and he's seen something down there.
All kinds of
and
stuff
after
down
that,
there.
he was just not the same anymore. And Sean was like, but I thought they blocked the tunnels off, and you couldn't go down there. And Eli's like, there's a spot over here, on this one street, and like I know a secret entrance and how to get to these tunnels, but I will not go near there. So a couple more times he runs into Eli, and he decides to ask him, hey, if I give you $100, would you take me down to the tunnels? And Eli's like, no, man, I will not do it. Like, I won't go anywhere near there. So a couple weeks later, he's downtown, and it's late at night. He bumps into Eli again, and Eli's like, hey, man, do you got that $100, and I'll take you to the tunnels because I really need the money. And he's like, okay, yeah, like, here's the money, like, show me the tunnels. So he takes him a couple blocks, and he takes him behind this building. And there was sort of this dark doorway. And he said above the doorway was this graffiti that said, no return. And he said that just kind of freaked him out because it was like they were going into somewhere where there was no return. And they then began walking down these dark set of stairs. And they found themselves in this maze of tunnels. So they make their way down all of these different corridors. As they're walking down this one particular tunnel, they start hearing crying. And they're like, where's that coming from? Like, what is making that sound? And it then began to sound like someone was just literally like wailing. And that's when they shined their flashlight and they stumbled upon like a hole in the concrete, and it led into a room. So they walked into this room and they started to look around with their flashlight, when over in the corner, they see this black looking wolf dog.
Well, that's weird, but I was about to say, also with these Shanghai tunnels, there were certain bars and places that had trap doors, and they'd get you all messed up and stuff, and they'd be like, hey, the bathroom's back here, or get you back there somehow, and then hit the button and you'd fall through the floor, and then, then you were shanghaied, basically. Never to be seen again.
Type creature, and it's growling at them. So they take off running. They're terrified. Sean couldn't keep up with Eli, and he ends up getting lost in one of the tunnels. So he begins just walking around in the dark, like, Eli, like, where are you, man? Like, I'm scared. Like, where are you? And that's when he hears something, like a footsteps moving in the dark. So he shines his light directly in front of him, and he said he sees this woman hunched over, and she's bawling. She's crying. And he's like, ma'am, are you okay? She doesn't say anything.
There's also sex trafficking.
Takes a couple steps closer. Ma'am, are you all right? And he said, all of a sudden, this woman stood up, turned around, and she had no face. And this terrified him, so he took off running again, and he's like screaming and stuff. Eventually, he thinks he sees the shadow of his friend Eli. So he's like, Eli, man, like, come on, let's get out of here. Like, I'm terrified. Come on, let's go. And he said the shadow walked into like one of these chambers along the tunnel. So he walks over to this chamber, and he goes in, and he's like yelling for Eli. He looks around. There's no one in this chamber or room. And he said that's when all of a sudden he felt a cold breath breathing on his neck, and he knew there was someone standing behind him. He slowly turns around, and he said standing there was what looked like this 1800s miner wearing some kind of lantern on his head, and he had a noose around his neck. And he just took off running as fast as he can, and eventually he did find his way out of these tunnels, and he was just like terrified. Well, a couple days later, he runs into Eli on the streets, and he's like, yo, man, are you okay? Like, what happened that night? Did you see anything else? And Eli's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what's going on? And he's like, the other day when we went to the tunnels. He's like, the tunnels? What are you talking about? I don't go to the tunnels. And he's like, no, we went down in the tunnels together, and we seen that like wolf thing. And he's like, You must be losing it, man, because I did not go down in the tunnels with you. The Shanghai tunnels are, did you know that over 1,000 people a year disappear from Yellowstone National Park?
What?
And most of
Per
them
year?
are never found. Now, this story comes out of
Per
Yellowstone.
year.
There was this man
Yeah.
named Jeff. Jeff said every year him and his father would go camping at Yellowstone National Park. And this one particular summer, they decided to go for the weekend. Now, they had found a new spot that was pretty remote, and this was their first time camping in this area. So they set up their campsite, they get a good fire going, and they started to tell scary stories. After a while, Jeff started getting tired, and he tells his dad, like, I'm going to go in the tent and lay down. So he goes into the tent, and he falls asleep. Well, a couple hours later, he wakes up to his father, who is screaming and having like some kind of nightmare. And he's like, Dad, are you okay? And his dad is just, help me. And he said, he just was like, okay, you must be having a bad nightmare. So he managed to just ignore him and eventually fall back asleep. But shortly after that, he wakes up again, and he has like this really bad feeling, like something is wrong, and he just couldn't seem to shake it. So he unzips the tent, he goes outside and starts using the restroom, when all of a sudden he hears his father's voice clearly say, Jeff, come over here, come into the woods. And he's like, Dad, like, what are you doing out of the tent? And he's like, Jeff, come on, come into the woods, Jeff, come here. And he's like, okay. So he starts walking into the woods, and he's like, Dad, where are you? And he just hears his dad say, come a little closer, Jeff, come a little closer. And that's when he noticed it just got really, really quiet. And all of a sudden, he hears a clapping sound. Then he hears it again. Then he hears it a third time. And out of the corner of his eye, he sees the shadow of something kind of zigzagging between the trees. And then, right in front of him, he sees this deer. Except this deer is standing on its hind legs like a person. It has antlers, it has all the features of a deer. But it has these glowing yellow eyes. And it is talking in his father's voice. So Jeff frantically runs back to the tent, and when he unzips it, he is shocked to find his father is not in there. So he starts yelling for his father, looking all around. And that's when he sees truck lights, and he sees his father's truck. And he realizes his father was not in the tent. He must have left and went somewhere. So he runs up to his father and is like freaked out, tells him what happened. And his father was like, after you fell asleep, I went over to this other people's campsite and I was hanging out with them for a while. And then I was coming back to go to bed. But he can see that Jeff is visibly shaken. So he says, you know what, let's just go ahead and leave. Well, as they were making their way out of the Yellowstone Park, he said they happened to overhear some people at the visitor center talking about someone had went missing. And what was eerie is he was very similar in age and look to Jeff. Now, this next story also comes out of Yellowstone. There was this geologist, and he was tasked with going to this particular region of Yellowstone in the southeast corner that is pretty remote and rarely visited. And there has not been a lot of people doing research in this area. So he happens to go there for like 3 days to do some kind of research. So he had set up his campsite and he was making dinner when all of a sudden he started to hear like a humming sound. And he said it was just kind of buzzing in his head, and it was just like very repetitive. And he couldn't figure out like where would that be coming from, because there's nothing out here. It's just woods everywhere. So he started walking in the direction of this humming sound, and he could hear it getting louder and louder. And that's when he runs right into this like 8-foot tall fence, and it goes down all the way on both sides. And he's like, why is there this huge fence out in the middle of the forest? Like what is behind here? So he manages to find a spot where he could get in underneath the fence, and he crawls into this area. He starts walking around for a little bit, and he could hear the humming sound getting louder and louder. And that's when he came out to sort of this clearing, and he said he couldn't believe his eyes. There was this pyramid-like rock structure with some kind of entrance, and there were these very tall men coming out of it. And he said, they were just tall, gray, very long arms, very long heads, is the way he described it. And he said they noticed him, and he started to panic. But then all of a sudden he heard a voice in his head say, do not be afraid. And he just instantly like felt peace overcome him. And he said, then it said, you are not ready to know what we know. You need to leave. And so he turned and he left, and he went back under the fence and he got out of there. So he leaves his campsite and he goes to like the nearest ranger station. And he starts telling him, like, there's something out there, like, I don't know what's happening, but there's like this fenced in area. And all the Rangers are kind of like, yeah, you know, this guy's losing it. So as he leaves the ranger station, one of the Rangers runs up to him and is like, hey, don't tell anyone, but I believe you. There is a lot of weird stuff that goes on here that we don't really talk about. But you did see something, and something happened. Did you know that?
All right, we're going to have a little pause for the cause there as we go to our first break. And on this break, we have the lovely and talented Miss Tamara Bubble from the greater New York area, and she's going to be singing Laundry, Cute Panties, Out the Mud. Then we have Griff from Toronto, Canada with Zoo, as well as Fluid from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I believe so. If not, it's Boston. From Boston, but I'm pretty certain he's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he's going to be singing I Love It. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Hey, get up on that washer. Hit the spin cycle till I come home. The way where I'm at, I'm out here breadwinning, so don't hit my phone. Shoulda never gave you treats like that. You got a sweet tooth and won't leave me alone. And every time I try to get some sleep, I wake up cause you doing me wrong. Sneaking up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Ain't playing, think I'm playing. I'ma have you doing them dishes too. Better lick them plates clean, be grateful for this delicious food. Why you want on fours? What you scrubbing floors cause you want some more? But you like it dirty, you is so dirty, you like it dirty. Sneaking up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Sneaking up under covers, used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? First of all, I was sleeping. And second of all, why you creeping? Third of all up on me, rubbing like conditioner that you be trying to leave it. Relax, love, keep breathing. And I would say keep cleaning, but you like it dirty. You is so dirty. You like it dirty. Sneaking up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Get up on that washer. Hit the spin cycle till I come home. The way where I'm at, I'm out here breadwinning, so don't hit my phone. Shoulda never gave you treats like that. You got a sweet tooth and won't leave me alone. And every time I try to get some sleep, I wake up cause you doing me wrong. Sneaking up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Sneaking up under covers. Used to fight it, but I love it. Hate it that you got me weak, cause now we ruin all these sheets. Like, who doing laundry? Who doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Who doing laundry? You doing laundry? Who? You doing laundry? Get up under covers. Yeah, you like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty, yeah? Under covers. Yeah, you like it dirty. You are so dirty. You like it dirty, yeah? Yeah. Bubble on that. Yeah. Real cute. Underwear. To be honest, I don't really wear many. I don't even really rock panties. Let me be clear, I'm used to getting a few new big pair each year from my granny. Couple sexy ones that might come off, and I done had way too much Henny. A drunk text go out. They come and eat the sweet juice and pie down there. I'ma go that route. But now, nigga, wrong song. I only need a couple of bars to turn you on. That's why I started mentioning that lingerie. But pull her to the studio with some long johns. This verse about to take a turn for the worse, and all them cute panties gonna be long gone. Cause the hating niggas that I wrote it for, they ain't afraid of wordplay. That's why they wrote this for. So I'ma drive them wild. But one day they might hit all about my voice shorts, G-string, slutty thongs. Even put them edible pennies on the cover so they wonder how that bubble tastes. You can stay mad, be miserable, old, predictable, maybe not even applicable. But yeah, you typical. Check your mans if it ain't you. Cause way too many queens rockin' shades cause they eyes black and blue. Way too many dudes putting hands on the bra. That make you feel like a man. Mishandling a weaker vessel, yeah, you saw. Yo, look, it's way too many dudes only wanna spar. But ain't got no conversation, only wanna gossip when we call. Why kicks in these grown dudes out in the broad daylight like some broad? Why kicks in these dudes letting these girls fighting on the stop to record? These little niggas online, the worst part, lame hoes got a squad. And all they do is dislike the females doing interviews with that nigga blog. I be like, come in, big boy, take off them drawers. I just came from shopping. Let me slip you into something real soft. You prefer the lace of satin or the silk? Cause some pretty little rolls, they gon' hang off your balls. Look at you sitting pretty, yeah. You the type that rock them cute pennies, yeah. Come here, you cute, yeah. Real cute. You hating on a female, cute, real cute. Why you mad we getting money? Maybe that's why you sag a let them punish out. Oh, by the way, cute pennies, bro. Real cute. Grown man, big boss, taking shots from a penthouse loft. Talking trash, he making big calls. Yep, then again, that's only till his phone got off. Come again, yes, phone got disconnected. But don't worry, he be back online hating in a second. Back at the crib, remember she paid her phone and the rent. Squashing nigga vegetable soft. Now he souped up in my mentions on some vegetable bro. Leaving comment at the comment, you that thirsty, drink vomit. I promise I ain't never seen nobody when had so much time to hate me. Be honest, is you mad at me? Or the fact that I'm grinding? It's a fact that I'm winning, son, I really be shining. Why you pressed on my diamond? You ready to swing on this little bitty girl, so don't tell me I'm lying. Way too many dudes putting hands on the bra. That make you feel like a man. Mishandling a weaker vessel, yeah, you saw. Yo, look, it's way too many dudes only wanna spar. But ain't got no conversation, only wanna gossip when we call. Why kicks in these grown dudes out in the broad daylight like some broad? Why kicks in these dudes letting these girls fighting on the stop to record? These little niggas online, the worst part, lame hoes got a squad. That nigga blow. I be like, come in, big boy, take off them drawers. I just came from shopping. Let me slip you into something real soft. You prefer the lace of satin or the silk? Cause some pretty little rolls, they gon' hang off your balls. Yeah, you the type that rock them cute pennies. Yeah, come here, you cute, yeah. Real cute. You hating on a female, cute, real cute. Why you mad we getting money? Maybe that's why you sag a let them punish out. Oh, by the way, cute pennies, bro. Real cute.
In my left hand, I'm ballin', making buckets back to back like I was Stephen. But yet I'm Phil Jackson, so don't treat me like the next man. And I'm kind of a real big deal, so don't be out here second guessing. Anyway, I make my pay and live this California lifestyle. Sunshine, loud packs, and chicks that love to get wild. That's how we do it every day. Slipping, sliding through the traffic on a mission for the day. Clearing marks about my way. We ain't got no time for y'all today. And all the craziness y'all talk, but never get your story straight. See me out here living great. I don't give a about all that hate. And when it comes to kicking game, I give you all that you can take. Trying to do it big, got no complaints. Every morning eating steak. And say I'm wrong for showing out, but I'ma do it anyway. Plus the thing ain't nothing, bitch, cause I can do it any day. And it don't matter where I go, I always represent the yay. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. loving how I live. Best believe if I do something, I'm a stupid, do it big. And this hustling is my gig, so don't you ask me what I stand for. Stacking while I'm macking, trying to earn myself a couple Lambos. Yeah, you know them toys for them big boys. Emperor of sorts and all you other players decoys. Meaning you're not the real deal. Keep an appetite for dollars that I never miss a meal. All you suckers need to chill. I'm just trying to stack a meal and pull the baddest bras around and let show they sex appeal. Little bit of Netflix, then we chill. Lose them clothes, keep on them heels. Working like a 9 to 5 and go right back to chasing skrill. I bring that real, never that phony. BS, y'all be stressing, put it down just like an OG. Perform these cookies, take flight. Summer, y'all just out here acting. I'm a boss in real life. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Keep it more 100 than a C note. Hall of Fame spitting, representing with these pimp quotes. Don't try to front, you know this shit's dope. Question is, will I ever fail? My answer is no. I make this hustling look amazing. Put it down, doper than a blunt of purple hazing. Spicy on the mic, I bring the fire like a Cajun. Scoville, making haters sweat when I be blazing. Leaning to the side, haters everywhere. Yeah, I hear them talking, but they simply wasting air. Can't understand the reason that they stay in my affairs. But I'm major with my movements, getting money everywhere. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. I love it, so in love with this lifestyle. I love it, I love it, I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now.
I get that feeling I'm too me time, and I'm okay all night or out at sea. So pumped I have it in the daytime. Promise you'll keep sunshine on my feet. Somebody pinch me, this is juicy, juicy. Squeeze out this warm glow on my cheek. Sweet dreams, only don't let go. Sing through the day. Sweet dreams, please don't tell me lies. Take me by surprise. It's gonna be different now. That's what they say. It's gonna be different how when it's steady pouring rain. We're stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. We're stepping out the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't got to live in dirt. I walk through. Ain't got to deal with what I won't do. We stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. Run your way about the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do me right. Give me all the sunshine I need in my life. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do me right. Give me all the sunshine I need in my life. I get the feeling I'm the moonlight. Put a little two-step to my beat. I should be dancing 'cause it feels right. Shake it, shake it, shake it with the breeze. Now once again, more give me two dice, two dice. I feel so lucky, can't you see? Sweet dreams, only don't let go. Sing through the day. Sweet dreams, please don't tell me lies. Take me by surprise. It's gonna be different now. That's what they say. It's gonna be different how when it's steady pouring rain. We're stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. We're stepping out the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't got to live in dirt. I walk through. Ain't got to deal with what I won't do. We stepping out the mud. Yeah, we on our way. Run your way about the mud. We gon' be okay. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do me right. Give me all the sunshine I need in my life. Ain't gon' do me dirty. You gon' do
You can't leave. You're right where you wanna be. Time is right here with me. You're right where you wanna be. Right with me. You can be anything you want. If that's what you really want. You can be anything you want. All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. For good, I'm wasting time. Not trying to lose my mind. Know that I am wasting time. Not trying to lose my mind. If you won't get left behind in this rat race, go back to my place where I know it's safe. And lock myself in my room. Won't watch the news, cause it is so confused. What can I do if I lose you? All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. Okay. She was a loompa, now her body super duper. Getting a lot of attention she was never used to. Hitting me up like I was Uber. Got a few miles, so I guess she's a cougar. Real winner, never seen her with a loser. Gorilla talk, ooga booga booga. Scuba, tuba, diver, I'm a rider. Getting cider, sweet like cider. Fighter, rider. Neither wants to get it going. Know it, hold it, fold it, blow it. Wait, I'm joking. Cages broken from these beasts. From down east on the streets, it's a zoo. All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. All I wanna do. All I want you to do right now is leave it soon. For good.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. All right, I got rid of the headphones and I got some earbuds because those headphones were hurting my little ears. All right, we're going to get back into our Trippy TikToks. What do you think so far? What would you like me to delve into next time we do some Trippy TikToks? Or even just as a topic? Also, I realized that when I said Fluid was from Milwaukee area or Boston, I was way off. He is from Union City, California. So, sorry, Fluid. Please forgive me. But yeah, let's get back into it. These TikToks, I feel, have been pretty cool. I've been enjoying them. I'm going to enjoy it even more now that my ears don't hurt. 1 a.m. trail find. What is it? What is it? Snatch Squatch? That is not Sasquatch, dude. Something in a blue outfit. It's a cutout.
It is a person.
Quit moving the focus. What the hell? It's not a cutout. Is it somebody on bath salts or something? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was trippy. Whoa.
His bag?
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Some of these negative races
Yeah,
are
that was
reptilian.
trippy.
They are Draco-reptilian, to be precise. So the Draco-reptilian are very powerful, have been very powerful for a very long time. They're the ones that have that changed things back during the Lemurian Atlantean time frame. It came in and basically tore down the systems that we'd evolved to a great level. Now they're being taken off world. So the negative ETs are fairly well removed from Earth. There's still probably a little, pockets of them here and there. They're being, sought out. It's hard to find these reptilians, these ET races, because they cloak themselves extremely well. I've seen some of these ETs when I was in different organizations.
What do they look like?
Well, they look like you and I. But when
very
you
broad,
look them in
isn't
the eye and they get a little angry at you, they get a little slit eye. And that slit eye is like, oh, okay, there's a reptilian there. But not all reptilians are bad, like we talk about. And not all Draco reptilian are bad. The Draco are on their way out. The positive Draco.
I don't know if you guys remember last Trippy TikTok he was on talking about Eben, which I guess is like a sort of Nordic looking alien that we've heard about before in the past. But instead of calling them Nordic, they're calling them Eben. Anywho's, it just reminded me of, wasn't there a part in the Bible where it was like, even this, even that, even blah, 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 like, I don't know. I want to look it up now and see what the heck that was, because I know it was there. I just don't remember exactly what it said.
Are helping to remove them from the planet. But just like I was involved in hunting down many terrorists, it took years to find them. It took years to find, I remember when I came into Panama, it took us a little while to find Noriega, even though we had planned that for months and months and months. So we came in with a perfect plan, and then he slipped through the cracks, and it took us months to find him. So there's, it takes time to identify them, track them down, and then root them out. So that's ongoing process. They're minions, so you would think of the Draco reptilians as being at the top of the food chain as far as like the evil controls of Earth, and then you work your way down. You have the different families.
Okay, so I don't know how long you've been here and what stories of mine you know, but the things that look like gremlins, but the ears are a bit smaller than gremlins. Those are minions. So I wonder if that's what he's talking about, because they did have like lizard type skin. It was slick looking, shiny. It was hard to really tell a color, greenish, grayish, blue. I don't know. When we went up there last time to go see my mom at Pine Grove Cemetery, which is in the middle of nowhere, and has some really weird stuff around it. But on the way back down, there were so many weird things that happened, and one was my son saying out of nowhere, well, if those blue guys try to hurt me, I'm going to kick them in their balls. And we laughed, but we were all like, what? Because I had never told him the story of the night that I saw those and how they chased my brother afterwards. But yeah, holy shnikes. I'm gonna have to look up Draco. He said Draco reptilians? I don't know. Sorry.
That have controlled the banking and other industries, oil and so forth, for a very long time. Those are being discovered and eliminated to a certain extent. And as we move down, we look at politicians and business owners and so forth. There's a lot to root out.
Seems quite the undertaking. Who are the positive ones?
So the positive ones are the ones that are trying to help you, man, like you and I.
Right.
We're doing the best that we can. We're working within a system that is very oppressive, but we're sharing this information right now. This is very powerful, very enlightening. As we move forward with this information, people awaken to it, and it speeds the process. So there's lots of us that share this information, and that is what raises consciousness. And it's not like beating the other side. It's more of raising the consciousness. That beats the other side. Ultimately, that's where we're going to go. More people awaken to that and stop giving away their free will to the negative groups.
Yeah,
it speeds that process. Some of the
No more worries, rest your head and go to sleep. Maybe one day we'll wake up and this will all just be a dream.
So the next time that you're like, I have it hard, just remember this.
So, before you go, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better? If only I'd have known you had a storm to weather. So, before you go, was there something I could have said to make it all stop hurting? It kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. So, was never the right time.
So what if I were to tell you that this is an actual picture of a ghost? Well, kind of.
Never is the right time.
This is a picture from spirit photographer Edouard Isidore Bouguet, who served jail time in 1875 for faking pictures of ghosts. And that picture inspired me to tell you the story of Ada Emma Dean, who was a ghost photographer, and honestly her life was so fascinating. Her photographs are so fascinating. So stick with me, I promise it is worth it, because I can't quite figure out what I believe about this woman. So the Kunst Museum in Basel in Switzerland are currently running an exhibition that's called Ghosts, Visualizing the Supernatural. And some of the photographs of both Edouard Isidore Bouguet and Ada Emma Dean are in this exhibition. So Ada Emma Dean was a cleaner, and in 1920 she took a photograph where allegedly a mysterious ghostly face appeared in this photograph. Now this was a really interesting time period in history because people were super into the supernatural. Seances were a big thing, ghost photography was a big thing, everybody was loving a bit of ectoplasm, and Ada Emma Dean seemed to have this ability to take ghost photographs. So these pictures are kind of just examples of the types of photographs that Ada Emma Dean would take. And in 1921, this doctor named Allerton Cushman, who was the director of the US National Laboratories, he had a session with Dean, and he said that in this session, she gave him a photographic plate that had an image of his deceased daughter on it. So his dead daughter's face showed up in this photograph. But then, right, it gets even more interesting. So in the 1920s, Dean started to go to the Armistice Day silences at the Cenotaph in London, and she would take photographs of the crowds, and these became really famous because of all these ghostly faces that would appear in these photographs. Now I would recommend pausing to have a look and see if you can spot any of these ghostly faces in the photographs. And these images, like, they didn't exist in a vacuum. Relatives would come forward and they would say, I can see my deceased loved one's face in that picture. And to give you a more concrete example, right, a guy named H. Dennis Bradley, he had this auditory experience where he heard the voice of his deceased brother-in-law, who came to him and said, I am in one of these pictures. I am in the top left corner. You will see my face if you look at this picture. So he sought out one of Dean's photographs, and there was his brother-in-law's face exactly where this voice said it would be. Now, obviously, Dean had her skeptics. People saw these pictures and said that she was tampering with the photographic plates. There was also a newspaper article that ran that said that the images that were seen of ghost faces were literally stock photographs of famous sportsmen. But there were people who really believed her claims, like, for example, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who famously wasn't beyond getting tricked by supernatural pictures. Let's call a spade a spade. And there were also researchers who worked with her who said, hey, if she's faking this, we don't actually know how she's doing it. So if you're knocking around Basel in Switzerland and you think to yourself, do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to explore representations of ghosts and the supernatural, then this exhibition in the Kunstmuseum is for you. And I genuinely think that ghost photography from this period of time is one of my favourite paranormal topics, for sure. And there is just this, like,
right here, there are so many green beings that come up at night. Like this, right? All this come alive, y'all. And the sun's going down, so I have to be very careful. I have to be very, oh shoot. Okay, I'm getting lightheaded. Hold on. Ooh, I'm getting lightheaded. Ooh, y'all see him? Look at the big one right there. Oh God, I see him. I see him. Whoo! He looks like an octopus. Oh my God. But I wanted to see where to go. They pile up around here at night. Especially over here. I don't know if it's because they're attracted to the lights. And they can blend. Ooh.
Hey guys, look, I have found a herd.
Hi guys, so I've got an update for you for the objects now currently flying over Germany. So here's from a guy called Jürgen Nordit. So effectively, enemy drones, as he's put it, can move freely over Germany for hours. Before reaching the Munich airport grounds, unknown drones objects initially circled Bundeswehr German Army facility, BILD. The first objects before they paralysed operations at Munich airport were spotted at 7:30 p.m, and this was on the 3rd of October, over the Erding Air Base. The Bundeswehr Innovation Center, where new generation drones are tested, is located there. According to witnesses, the wingspan of unknown drones, or objects in this case, was between 60 centimeters and 1 meter. The first sighting were made in Erding, near Munich, then in the area of the airport, which is only 8 kilometers away. So the objects were seen over the airport at 8:30 p.m. There could have been up to 6. The Bundeswehr has so far confirmed 5. The drones were last seen around 11:30 p.m. So again, they can't disperse these things with normal anti-drone equipment. There are reports coming through from BBC in Denmark confirming they've heard from officials in Denmark that these are not from Russia. And there's no evidence to support that they are Russian at all. And it looks like at the moment that their anti-drone equipment is not working on these things. Okay, here's an image of what's been taken in Germany.
It's not good.
So yeah, does that look to you like it's a conventional looking drone? I don't think so. Not with a wingspan like that. I think they're underestimating the size of this thing. I think the wingspan's much bigger. I'm hearing a lot bigger than that. But we'll see what comes out and what they'll try and control. But again, as I've said to you before, the Danish authorities were kept out of the loop, and a lot of the stuff that was discussed is highly classified, which they couldn't discuss to any members of the media when asked questions in Denmark. And now we're seeing the same thing across Germany as well. Just to be clear, this all looks and sounds very similar to what took place in Piccadilly Arsenal, which is a special army base near New Jersey, as well as New Jersey, last year or beginning of this year, of which they could not disperse these things. So they're ramping up. It's not slowing down. And this seems to be quite systemic across Europe and at the moment, northwestern Europe and Scandinavia and places of that nature. An update on 3i Atlas. Unfortunately, the government has shut down. So coincidence or not, I don't know. But 3i Atlas is currently traversing across
ludicrous.
The horizon of Mars, and we aren't getting any images.
No images at all. So whatever's going to be processed will go through the channels, through NASA, of course, and we will get something, hopefully, that is unedited and just raw data on what this thing is, to put it to bed, that it's either a comet or just an object that we're not familiar with. But I'm not going to jump the gun there yet and assume it's something it's not. But so far, there is no evidence to support that this thing is moving under its own power or is changing direction or is course correcting. Okay, just to clear the air here, there is no evidence that supports that whatsoever, except for strange occurrences that are taking place that are outside the normal characteristics of what we might deem to be a comet. So those are the facts. That is what is going on at the moment. I don't want people running away with things like, oh, it's a spacecraft, when we have no confirmation or proof of that yet. But it is a bit of a coincidence, I would argue, that the government shuts down as 3i Atlas is flying across the horizon of Mars right now, where we have stuff flying around, so we can actually get images of this thing. So we'll wait to see what happens with that. But that's everything for now. You heard it first from DK, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much. All right, guys. So.
And it's like, if you didn't trust the government before, how about now?
Got an update for you for the objects now.
Trump's pick for the head of the Department of Education, Linda McMahon, was embroiled in a pedophile scandal, and I've barely seen anybody talk about this. So this is former ring announcer for the WWE, Mel Phillips. And in the year 1992, allegations surfaced that Mel Phillips had been grooming young boys, underage boys, and sexually harassing and abusing them. But Mel wasn't just targeting regular boys. Apparently, he was targeting ring boys that worked for the WWE, basically employees of the WWE, and some of the things that these underage boys said that Mel Phillips did to them, which included fetishistic acts, are nothing short of disturbing. It should be noted too that these young boys were accusing other individuals associated with the WWE of harassment and abuse as well. Disturbingly though, none of the men who were accused of molesting these young boys, some as young as 12 years old, were ever arrested. Essentially, they just stepped down from their positions and they were allowed to go free. And then everybody moved on. However, a lawsuit was filed last year by 5 anonymous men who all claimed that while they were either 12 or 13 years old, they were molested by WWE employees, with the molestation sometimes happening in hotels or at events themselves. And this lawsuit alleged that Vince McMahon and his wife Linda McMahon, the owners-operators of the WWE, knew about all of the allegations. They knew that these young children were being molested at these events by certain employees, and they did nothing to stop it. Disturbingly, the lawsuit also states that while some of these young children were raped, they remembered Mel Phillips, who was the one raping them, recording all of this on a video camera, essentially producing CSAM material. Now, interestingly, Vince McMahon himself actually fired Mel Phillips in 1988 after other children had made allegations that he had been molesting them. But instead of keeping him away from the WWE, McMahon rehired him just 6 weeks later on the condition that he, quote, stay away from kids, end quote. So that was in 1988, and more allegations surfaced in 1992, 4 years later. And this guy, this pedophile, was working directly with the ring boys, with these children, and was announcing on camera for the WWE that entire time. Now, this was a really big scandal in the 90s, and clearly a lot of people in the WWE knew what was going on. I mean, 1988 was the first kind of round of allegations that were made, but I'm sure that from 1988 to 1992, there were more allegations, and who knows how many allegations were covered up, how many victims were silenced. Linda McMahon, though, was there the entire time at the top of the kingdom with her husband, Vince, who, let me remind you, rehired a pedophile on the stipulation that he stay away from kids. Pretty disturbing that she's been hired to lead the Department of Education, right? And it makes me wonder why nobody is talking about this. Trump's pick for the head of the Department of
You're so full of it.
The lady explained to me that in April of
if that's true about the Conjuring House and Spirit Halloween, I'm going to be very upset.
26, there would be an alignment where this star, which is a blue star, of Regulus appears on the horizon in front of the Sphinx, and it would be red.
And you know what? This is right.
That's what she said.
I've actually spoken to astronomers. This is the phenomenal thing about this.
Yeah, and she said it'll be red. And when that happens, it would mark a shift into a new knowledge, not an apocalypse. That's what she told me. It doesn't mean Jesus is coming back. There's a new knowledge that's coming. What is that? Is it under the pyramids they've discovered something? Is it the Hall of Records? Is it
Wasn't the pyramids? It was
disclosure?
So in April 2026, there will be a new knowledge bestowed upon humanity when the regular star lines up with the Sphinx's gaze. Although Chris Bledsoe's information that he's given us, apparently it will be presented as red, although the regular star system is blue. So what's going to happen there, we're not entirely sure. Now, everything that's going on across the world at the minute, from disclosure to the UFO activity to the sun in its 11th year solar cycle, solar maximum, scientists, astronomers and things of that nature are saying that the sun is waking up and pushing out all sorts of energy, firing coronal mass ejections towards 3i Atlas, interacting with our planets as a whole, lots of different things going on, whether that's an energetic thing, I don't know, frequency datas are changing, people are waking up. Now, if we're looking through history as well, when we've had interstellar comets, much like Oumuamua, when Oumuamua arrived, a few months later, we had the first introduction of UFO disclosure, mate, right? Of the Tic Tac UFOs and things of that sort of nature. Then we had Borisov, and then a few months later after Borisov, we had COVID-19, and not so much COVID-19 happened because of Borisov, but people started to question the narrative, right? People started to wake up at mass. It's the first time the switch flicked. Now, 3i Atlas, now we've had crazy disclosure with 3i Atlas and all sorts of the mad things that are happening, global unrest, change is coming, and people are waking up at mass even more so, along with the energies that are going on across all sorts of every planet that we have, the sun itself, and we've had crazy auroras, energy firing at our blooming planet all year, and UFO activity has spiked through the roof. Now we have April 2026 around the corner, right? Something major apparently is going to be revealed. So, I love Chris Bledsoe. I've been following for so long, and I kind of trust some of the information that he's given, right? And his book, UFO of God, is also amazing, so go check it out. What do you guys think, man? You think this is something that's actually going to happen, or more stuff to throw into the mix, mate? I don't know.
The ladies playing to me.
They know that we're coming into this time of purification, and that people need to live in more of the Hopi way. And the Hopis are the messengers of this. I mean, that's their job. That's why they were preserved. That's why they're still so influential. That's why that Four Corners area is protected the way it is. The Great Spirit is protecting them and their message, because their job right now is to get this.
Sorry.
The Great Spirit is protecting them and their message, because their job right now is to get this message out. Before, it wasn't. But that's why they're still so influential. That's why that Four Corners area is protected the way it is. The Great Spirit is protecting them and their message, because their job right now is to get this message out. Before, it wasn't. But they were supposed to let what's happening happen, because it's a test to see how everyone does. And then when it gets to a certain point, they're supposed to come out with this message, and the world's supposed to hear it. If you wonder why it seems like America is kind of the focal point of everything right now, if you think about it geographically, on one side of America, in the Pacific, you had Lemuria. On the other side, in the Atlantic, you had the Atlanteans. Both those civilizations fell, and people went in different directions. And now, according to the Hopi prophecy, they're all coming back to this land. And this land now is the sacred land that's going to be the battleground. This is like a laboratory here to see if we can pass this test. So what is the test? The test is to see if we can bring all of the stuff from the Atlantean times and all of the stuff from the Lemurian time and blend it. Lemuria as being the heart and the spirit. And then you look at Atlantis as being the mind and the strength. And there's the male, and the other side is the female, or the yin to the yang, or the masculine to the feminine. So what we're supposed to do here, figure out a way to balance it in a way that we can use it in harmony with Earth. They know that we're coming into this time of purification, and that people need to live in more of the Hopi way. And the Hopis are the messengers of this. I mean, that's their job. That's why they were preserved. That's why they're still so influential. That's why that Four Corners area is protected the way it is. The Great Spirit is protecting them and their message, because their job right now is to get this message out. Before, it wasn't. But they were supposed to let what's happening happen, because it's a test to see how everyone does. And then when it gets to a certain point, they're supposed to come out with this message, and the world's supposed to hear it. If you wonder why it seems like America is kind of the focal point of everything right now, if you think about it geographically, on one side of America, in the Pacific, you had Lemuria. On the other side, in the Atlantic, you had the Atlanteans. Both those civilizations fell, and people went in different directions. And now, according to the Hopi prophecy, they're all coming back to this land. And this land now is the sacred land that's going to be the battleground. This is like a laboratory here to see if we can pass this test. So what is the test? The test is to see if we can bring all of the stuff from the Atlantean times and all the stuff from the Lemurian time and blend it. Lemuria as being the heart and the spirit. And then you look at Atlantis as being the mind and the strength, and there's the male, and the other side is the female, or the yin to the yang, or the masculine to the feminine. So what we're supposed to do here, figure out a way to balance it in a way that we can use it in harmony with Earth. They know that we're coming into this time of purification, and that people need to live in more of the Hopi way. And the Hopi...
The following footage you're about to see is absolutely real, and the young woman did end up calling the proper authorities. However, when they got there, nobody was to be found. However, this reminds me of a story that happened in Charleston, West Virginia. So a woman named Fabienne Witherspoon was on her way home from her cousin's or her friend's house. I forget which one, but it really doesn't matter. As crazy as this gets, she sees a young man standing out with a sign asking for food and money. So Fabienne, being the nice lady that she is, she decides, okay, I'm gonna help him out. She walks up, she's like, are you hungry?
Are you hungry?
Do you need anything? Do you have any family out here? The guy was a nice, sweet young guy, right? Well, Fabienne was 19, and he was a young guy himself. He was like in his late 20s, so it's still pretty young. However, Fabienne didn't know that this was the day that she almost did not exist anymore. Oh, shit! So, Tommy Lynn Sells, if you want to know who that is a serial... You know what I'm saying? I can't say it because of the platform. So this serial hobbyist decided that he's going to follow her home. However, Fabienne was lucky enough to fight back. Within that process, she didn't know that she had dudes in prison now. But that just goes to show you cannot always be nice to everybody, especially if you're alone at night, because you never know what somebody's true intentions are. So Tommy Lynn Sells credited himself and helped the police uncover 50 missing persons. Use your imagination. You know where this is going. My name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you're new to the channel, consider dropping a follow, especially if you like this type of content. I'll follow you back the first chance I get. On Facebook, I'm still working on it. I don't know what's going on there. On TikTok, I got you immediately. Welcome to The Imperfect.
I grew up in a town called Peoria, and
Ding-a-ling Man.
this
That was like one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. My Ding-a-ling.
legend of the Dingling Man. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but there was this real guy, which everyone in town called the Dingling Man. And he was like this 6'4", 6'5", tall, scary looking dude that had these very long dreads that like covered his face and these very creepy eyes. And like he never cut his fingernails. And you would see this dude everywhere in town. And like when we were kids, we'd be playing at the park, or we'd be in a field playing football, and there would be the Dingling Man just standing there, like staring at us. And he would talk to himself, like he would, like laugh, and then he would like hum sometimes, and that was the scariest because he'd be like hum. And so like when you would hear that, it just freak you out because this dude was staring at you, and like he would chase a lot of us kids around town and stuff, and like people would like see him like just jump like over 6-foot fences like it was nothing, and this dude would like climb up trees and stuff. And one story that I heard about the Dingling Man that's probably the creepiest was there was this kid, he was coming home from school, he unlocks his front door, goes inside, goes upstairs, and when he gets ready to go into his bedroom and he turns, there is the Dingling Man standing by his window with the window like wide open, and he's sitting there going like humming. And so this kid just like ran downstairs, runs out the front door, and his dad like right at that time pulled up from work, and he's like, Dad, like the Dingling Man's in my room. And so, like, the dad grabs a baseball bat and he goes into the house, goes upstairs into his room, and like he's gone. But he could see that the window was open, so he knew someone was in his room. And so he locked all the windows and the doors. I grew up in a town called Peoria, and
the European Space Agency might have just showed us something they weren't supposed to, since the US government conveniently shut down just days before the Mars flyby of 3i Atlas and told us they're not going to give us updates on it anymore. The good old ESA released this video just a few days after it flew by Mars.
Okay, so we saw a video like this earlier, and I'm like, what? Because that's the first time I've seen anything like that. I'm like, with AI running around and stuff, like, that's gotta be AI. What the... This is so different than the other one I've seen. The other one looked like, you remember the old paintings of, wars in the sky and UFO craft, and there's that one that's like really weird shaped and kind of looks like a comet with a person in it. Well, there was a picture of 3i Atlas, supposedly, but 3i Atlas was supposed to be behind the sun, not in front of the sun. Anywho, somebody took a shot of it through some sort of telescope that you could look at the sun with. Maybe they had a filter, I don't know. Anywho, the shape of it looked just like that. If you want to see it, it's on my page, my personal page, but I'll share it on We Are Paradox Media too. I believe I did already, but I'll pin it.
Using their ExoMars trace gas orbiter. And just watch what happens when we zoom it in. No video enhancements applied whatsoever. Is anyone else seeing what I'm seeing? Surely this is just a photography lighting glitch, right? And like, where is China in all this? They do have an active orbiter around Mars, the Tianwen-1. Wouldn't this be just like the best opportunity for them to flex on us, showing us the clearest photos of 3i Atlas yet? But no, radio silence from the CNSA, China's National Space Administration. So they either somehow didn't take the photo on time, or they did, saw what it was, and didn't want to show anyone else. And still other online detectives pulled this image from NASA's official Mars Perseverance rover's online public library, dated Seoul 1643, October 4th, 2025. The European Space Agency might...
Man says he was actually possessed by a demon, and how to know if you're possessed by one. Listen.
How to know somebody has a demon or demons in them. As somebody who's been possessed by demons, man,
So
y'all
he would
better
know.
buckle up because it's about to get deep. Number one. One thing you notice that somebody is inhabited by demons is whenever they walk into a room, the whole room will shift. Whether that person has a dark cloud of sadness over them, or just this anger that follows them.
So you can tell by their
if
energy.
it's somebody that's always in a bad mood, always negative, always depressed, when they walk in the room, it's a huge shift. They are definitely inhabited by demons. The demons are disembodied spirits that need our vessels to live out the desires they want to fulfill. You know what I'm saying? For us to perform, they will. You know what I'm saying? This is why people get seared conscious, believe wrong is right and right is wrong. That's because a demon has taken hold of that vessel and seared their conscience and is able to use that person freely. And they just became an organic portal for demons to just hop in and out their body to be used. But anywho, that's going to lead to my second one. But the first one, when they walk into a room, it's a huge shift, man. Huge shift. Number two, like I say, once somebody's conscience is completely seared to where they can do wrong and they feel no wrong about it, there's no conviction, and they actually feel justified in what they're doing. So when somebody is deliberately doing wrong and they feel like it ain't nothing wrong with it, and they feel like it's even right, that's a demon that's using that person. That's a demon that is using that person. Because somewhere along the line, something happened to them, or they learned it, they picked it up, to where that demon was able to come in and access and man, sear their conscience. And that's what the demon wants you to do. That's what they want for you, for your conscience to be seared, so they can hop in your vessel and just steer you. You know, and
Man says he was actually
the most terrifying hiking trail in the United States is located in Tennessee, in the Appalachia, a place called the Norton Creek Trail. Now, the Norton Creek Trail is about an hour from Knoxville, Tennessee, and probably about 20 minutes from Gatlinburg. Now, this trail goes through the Smoky Mountain National Park, and this area has the highest concentration of old pioneer cemeteries and abandoned homesteads that you can actually visit. This area is
went to
known
go.
for ghostly apparitions, orbs, people disappearing. There is a famous story about a pioneer settler who went looking for his missing daughter on this trail and actually
I
was
remember
found
that.
unalived. Now, the creepiest legend, though, in this area is that of Spearfinger. Now, Spearfinger is this old Cherokee legend.
And guess what? Funkmaster V and crew made a movie about Spearfinger. You guys should check it out. Wrestling with Ghosts is their group. I'm not sure. I think it's Funkmaster V and then Luke on there, but I'll have to double check and let you guys know. But it was pretty entertaining for, I think it was their second movie. I liked it.
That there is this witch who they described as being sometimes 40 feet tall, having skin like rocks, and this long, sharp finger that is shaped like a spear. And the creepy thing about Spearfinger is that she could shapeshift. She could be anyone, your auntie, your cousin, your best friend. And she could be walking right behind you.
Your daddy,
you turn
your
around and
bald-headed
she
granny.
sticks her long spear finger into your back, rips out your liver, and eats it. Now, this story comes from this same general area. There was this woman who said when she was a young girl, her and her brothers and sisters, they lived in this small shack in the Appalachian Mountains. And she said, they were very poor. So this house was, not that big. They all shared a bedroom. And they said their father had to leave them alone for a couple days. So their auntie came to stay with them. So they said, one night they're hanging out with their auntie and they're joking, they're having a good time. When all of a sudden, they said the air just got stale. And they could feel almost like a cold breeze blowing into the house. And they said the dogs started to freak out and bark and go crazy, like someone was outside. So the auntie got really, really nervous and really scared. She takes the kids and they all go up into this attic where the father had made kind of like a safe area for them to hide if anything were to ever happen. So they're all sitting up in the attic and there's, this tiny little hole that they could see down into, the downstairs. And they said all of a sudden the door opened up and they said in walked this little old lady. And they said she just kind of, was touching everything around their house. And she said all of a sudden, this old woman started saying, "Come out, children, come out. I've got something for you. Come down here. I want to tell you a story." And she started, acting like she was this concerning old woman who wanted to give the kids, stories and candy. And so the kids started to say to the auntie, like, "Can we go down there? Can we see her? Can we see her?" And she's, "Quiet, just be quiet." And the more they resisted, the more this woman was like, "Come down here, kids, come down here. I got something for you. Like, I have some toys." And, they're like, "Oh my goodness, we don't have no toys. Like, we should go down there. We should go down there." And the auntie's like, "No, fighting with them," saying like, "You have to stay up here in the attic." And so they said all of a sudden, the woman kind of disappeared out of sight. And as they're looking down this little hole, they said the next thing they knew, a finger popped up through the hole and started, moving around. And she said the auntie and the kids are all scared because they're seeing like this finger just coming up through the hole. And they said the finger started to grow and grow. And it became almost like this long, sharp spear. And they said it started to move around the attic, and they had to like avoid it because it was almost hitting them. And the auntie just started saying these prayers like over and over again. And they said all of a sudden it was like, boom, like they had woken up from a dream. This old woman was gone. The air seemed normal. And so the auntie brings them down from the attic. And she said the next day when her auntie went outside, all of their animals that they had out there were like mutilated, torn apart. And she said to this day she is afraid to go out in the woods in this area. The most terrifying hiking trail in the United States is located in Tennessee, in the Appalachia.
Little girl was abducted by her uncle, who is a registered Schmegs offender, and the police think she may be in danger. On September 11th, 6-year-old Ruby disappeared from her grandparents' home after school at 3:39 p.m. and her family reported her missing at 4:42. Ruby's family did not immediately tell the police until hours later, around 10 p.m., that they suspected her Uncle Jordan had taken her from the home. Police spent hours on the ground searching for a child they thought had wandered off when the family knew the entire time she'd been taken by her uncle, who they know is a registered schmegs offender. At that point, the search was stopped and investigators called in the FBI for more assistance, and an Amber Alert was issued. Ruby has now been missing for 3 days, and a new report says that Ruby was last seen at her grandmother's house after school, and white pickup truck thought to be driven by Jordan stopped by the house briefly before leaving, and Ruby has not been seen since. 34-year-old Jordan Cole has a prior conviction from 2008 for essaying a younger cousin, and the police are very concerned about his significant history. And according to the Wisconsin Registry, Jordan's primary address is listed the same as Ruby's grandmother's house where Ruby lives. The fact that her family withheld information from the police, hindering their investigation for hours, is very concerning to me. But the family did tell the police that Jordan has a very close relationship with his niece. Oh, I bet he does, clearly. Stop protecting predators and start protecting children. Ruby is a white female, 6 years old, 4 foot tall, 100 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. She was last wearing a lavender dress with smiley faces and wearing white Lilo and Stitch shoes. Jordan is white male, 6'3", 250 pounds, red hair, red beard, blue eyes. He has several tattoos, including a peace sign and other animals. Jordan is thought to be driving a white 2001 Ford F-250 pickup truck with Wisconsin license plate WC2249. It has a toolbox and peeling paint. Y'all, please take a good look and share this video because we all know how this story will end if they don't find them in time. Little girl was abducted by her uncle, who is a registered schmegs offender, and the police think she may be in danger. On September 11th, 6-year-old Ruby disappeared from her grandparents' home after school at 3:39 p.m., and her family reported her missing at 4:42. Ruby's family did not immediately tell the police until hours later, around 10 p.m., that they suspected her Uncle Jordan had taken her from the home. Police spent hours on the ground searching for a child they thought had wandered off when the family knew the entire time she'd been taken by her uncle, who they know is a registered schmegs offender. At that point, the search was stopped, and investigators called in the FBI for more assistance, and an Amber Alert was issued. Ruby has now been missing for 3 days, and a new report says that Ruby was last seen at her grandmother's house after school, and white pickup truck thought to be driven by Jordan stopped by the house briefly before leaving, and Ruby has not been seen since. 34-year-old Jordan Cole has a prior conviction from 2008 for essaying a younger cousin, and the police are very concerned about his significant history. And according to
What a jerk. And you know that granny and mom or auntie or whoever is protecting him and allowing him to do whatever the hell he's doing. That poor girl. The South, I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. Like, I was born and raised to a certain extent in the South, in northern Arkansas. Ugh. Even going back and visiting, I'm like, I'm so glad I don't live here anymore. There's just nothing there for me except for visiting my parents in Pine Grove Cemetery, which is in the middle of nowhere. But anyways, let's go to our second music break, and on this break, we once again have Miss Tamara Buttle, and she's going to be singing it, I'm It, Natural Born Winner, as well as Pringles. Then we have Griff with Best Life, as well as Let Freedom Ring. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
Okay, yo, here's the scoop. You can still be a slave, you're a whip and loot. That's the truth. Got big houses, nice cars. That's real cute, but that doesn't mean nothing. You ain't free to choose. When I say free to choose, no alarm clock, don't gotta hit the snooze. The world is backwards, I'm so confused. They say freedom of speech, but when you speak your mind, they blow a fuse. Just being honest, common sense and common. It's kind of ironic. My freedom, recently bought it. Now I'm a target. If I do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, come on, man. Let freedom ring. Yeah. United United States become divided states. The world is filled with all kinds of shades, and still resegregate. Parents separate from the children, that's not okay. We should be free to laugh and play. Do it now, before you pass away. Fight for what's right, enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie. Brainwash, social media, full of lies. Go to work, pay bills, then you die. Need a breakaway, guns, get rid of the AKs. Our ancestors paved way since the slave days, but we still hurting. Carry that burden, stop playing victim, beat the system. Love is love, it should be shown. Can't grow unless you leave your comfort zone. This I know, I learned all this from the mentorship. Kids don't know what independent is. Take advantage what your parents did. Go against the grid, you have to. Like going to the bathroom, learn the right songs, cause of Matthew. Liberty like statue, they call now the present, cause it's a gift. It should be cherished, last name fearless, not Harris. All thanks to my parents' parents. Now, love the last name every time that I hear it, cause I know what it represents. Climb the fence, so now I got freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing. Freedom. Such a beautiful thing. Freedom. Such a wonderful thing.
Just make hits. You won't do all that posting naked pics for likes, and I ain't make this up. I can't fake this. Seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, barely. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner, cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner, cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that. Cause I'm a lover and a fighter and a giver and a pleasure and pain and boss deliver it out. Yeah, I make this look real easy. Everybody hate Chris, but I'ma win like Breezy. But I started later on the way to the top and can't stop, so don't push not one button on this elevator. They try to push my buttons and start levitating, rise above it all. I can tell that you fake when you shaking my hand and the smile on your face shows me even you're greeting and meeting and love is hating. I'm actually amazing, but modestly saying I ain't waiting for co-signs or playlists, cause I ain't nowhere close to my greatness. I don't do all that boasting, just make hits. You don't do all that posting, naked pics for likes, and I ain't make this up, I can't fake this. Seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, being lit. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner, cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that, cause I'm seeing it, loving it, feeling it, breathing it. Saying it, doing it, running it, being lit. I'm a natural winner. I'm the one that you invite to meet your parents for dinner, cause I can take a couple L's and I'ma bounce right back. Just so you and all your friends can hit the bounce like that, cause I'm the one you gon' call when you're lonely. I'm the new girl on the block, you gon' show off to your homies. I'm telling you now, we gon' vibe in the booth. How you crave another feature like I'm your sweet tooth. All my people wanna see me shine, but I don't pray for you to fall, cause I don't play with karma. When I slide through, it's gon' be bad timing. Like, watch out, little homie, watch out. I'm
live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Where you from? Who you with? Are you unplanned? Are you equipped? I do my thing, stay legit. In this world, no one's innocent. VIP, get bottles. One snap on my fingertips. See these haters like blah blah blah, blah 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 blah, talking gibberish. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Rolling and rolling and rolling SUV. Rolling and rolling and rolling with my homies. Rolling and rolling and rolling SUV. Rolling and rolling and rolling with my homies.
I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life?
I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right.
Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip, I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can, all the money really got me dancing. Big bank, baby, money grip, I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the web. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grab. I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of a strange beat. New track from the crates, but the same me. Lights on, bills paid, bring the same heat. Couldn't picture me spend the same unless you bring me. Low key, humble brag, never change me. New money coming in, the bank's changing. Good quarters to dollars to checks every hour. That money come in when I sleep or I shower. That's motivation, that dedication. I can see my dreams, I'm already chasing. That bezel clean, watch me embrace it. I'm a single girl that already taken like a stick-up kid. They already shaking. No Harlem, Brooklyn, being known for break-ins. Bubble on deck, being known for caking. Stacking and saving that move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. This that see you laughing but broken funny. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. Who we been poppin', look on. Love the money, but the money love me long time it on. Yeah, them bills, so got the money with my own ground. That move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. Who we been poppin' like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip. I be stacking them chips. Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip. I be stacking them. I ain't never been afraid of investing. I'm talking more than dice games and I'm scratch offs. Lottery jackpots and hundreds of millions. So who you think they making money on the backs of? Ain't no gambling today. Ain't no gambling with my money that I built up. Got my money strong and my money long. My money song. Not one business but no business. Natural growth, I mean no business. New growth like my natural hair. Yeah, I'm 10 toes down in the show business. Like back up off, man. Ain't no move around no business. Bring the track up with the tracks out in the booth way. Steady running your mind, talking this and that. But it's that move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. This that see you laughing but broken funny. So get up out the hood, homie. Ain't no rentals over here, dummy. And no, they don't really think that we own it. Who we been poppin', look on. Love the money, but the money love me long time it on. Yeah, them bills, so got the money with my own ground. That move up out the hood money. This that we been eating good money. This that really wish you would, homie. Who we been poppin' like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Pringles in the whip. I be stacking them chips like Pringles in the can. All the money really got me dancing. Big baby money grip. I be stacking them chips.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. We've been doing trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT, and we've run into some pretty interesting things. Some things it's just hard to know what is real anymore. The world is so strange. Remember when we were kids? Oh my gosh. These kids right now, these kids are hardcore, but yeah. This new AI Atlas stuff, where did this even come from? The first video I saw, I'm like, holy shnikes, this has got to be AI. And then there's another one about it. I'm not saying that means it's true. I'm just saying, where did this come from? I want to know. So hopefully we can get into that and figure it out. I don't know. We'll have to look and see, shan't we?
What the fuck, guys? Apparently there's 50,000-year-old structures built by humans on the moon from an advanced civilization. Check this out.
Cracks me up.
Scientist Greg Braden claimed that evidence exists of a 50,000-year-old human civilization that once lived on the moon. He said it was not alien, but human, a lost chapter of our own history. Braden said the United States and the Soviet Union found proof during the Cold War and agreed to keep it secret. He pointed to NASA's Clementine mission photos showing structures with 90-degree angles that suggest artificial design. He also cited human chromosome 2 as the smoking gun of intelligent intervention, a genetic fusion that does not occur naturally and appeared about 200,000 years ago, marking what he believes was a deliberate change in humanity. Braden said China was never part of the Cold War Secrecy Pact and plans to.
That reminds me, remember how there used to be like 3 or 4 different blood types? Maybe a couple more, but now there's tons. Like 400 something, I think I saw. It could be more. What the hell is happening?
To show live footage from its Chang'e 7 mission in 2026, with India's Chandrayaan-4 to follow. These missions, he said, could finally reveal what others hid. These are claims made by Greg Braden on the Joe Rogan Experience, not confirmed by NASA.
I mean, that's wild. So Greg Braden told Joe Rogan on his podcast that there's evidence of ancient cities that have been kept secret by the US and Russia during the Cold War. That is absolutely wild. If that's true, that's amazing. What the fuck, guys? Apparently there's 50...
Imagine walking alone in the forest and hearing this.
No. Poggle packed another pair of pants. I'll need a new pair of breeches. Holy shnikes. I can hear it moving
At
around
first,
in there.
it sounds like some kind of beast, low, guttural, echoing through the trees, each roar shaking the ground. Some viewers insist it's just a moose or a red deer calling during mating season, but hunters warn that during this time, they can be unpredictable and deadly. Others say it doesn't sound natural at all, more like something out of Jurassic Park or a cryptid hidden deep in the woods. Many pointed to Appalachian and Slavic legends of the Wendigo or Leshy, creatures said to mimic the cries of animals to lure people closer. The cameraman stands still, the forest silent except for that roar, like something massive is moving just out of sight. Whether it's a wild animal or something far more terrifying, one thing is clear. If you hear a sound like this in the forest, you'd better start running.
Yeah. I'm gonna be elbows touching assholes.
Imagine walking alone in the forest.
We talked about the turning point that has taken place since the Charlie Kirk thing, how censorship seems to be lifted on the truth about the Jays and Israel and the things that are going on there. I've noticed something else, though, as well. As we're being radicalized and seeing all of this sheer evil taking place, at the exact same time, it seems that mainstream content creators are covering the criticism of Israel, like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, people like that. But simultaneously, I'm also noticing they are promoting Catholicism, like parallel, right along with it, which makes me think, what if the radicalization against Israel is the prophetic all nations rise against, yada yada, but then when the false peace comes, the false Messiah, what if the one world religion that is used is Catholicism? What if that's the one world religion? Because think about this. What if they brought us thus far? Evolution, the Big Bang. You know what I mean? Like the anti-biblical, anti-creation scientism. That is the worldview. The worldview. I don't know, man. Could be nothing. Put in the comments what you think and what you notice. We talked about the turning point.
The biggest lie he ever told people, they gotta wait to get to heaven, right? When
So
Jesus
what
even
happened
teach
there?
that, he said everybody gotta wait to get to heaven.
Okay, so this makes sense, and this kind of answers a question that I've had during all the years. Shoot, like, let's say basically 45 years I've been able to see and hear and witness and feel entities, spirits. And I often wondered, like, if there's a heaven and a hell, why are they here? Then later on, I realized there are certain things like unfinished goals, or, I didn't get to see my kids grow up, or so many different things like that, or being afraid of going to hell, when in fact you might not, you just think you deserve to, because we're very critical of ourselves, but No. Why are there still spirits here? Another thing, right after my mom passed, in a dream, which I believe is a realm where I met my mother, because otherwise it doesn't make sense what 6-year-old is going to have a dream like this. But in the room that she walked out of, there was lots of people sitting and waiting. People are waiting to get in. For what? I don't know. But yeah, this guy is really into it. What's he going to say?
Yeah, heaven is a state of mind. It's consciousness. It's how you view the world.
No, that's,
Come on, gang, stop
that's
playing
your
with me.
heaven.
No, everybody heaven. Only heaven you can get to. Only heaven that's reachable.
That's his heaven. But watch this here. He said heaven is a state of mind.
Yeah.
Therefore, hell can be a state of mind.
Exactly. Now
Okay,
you
so watch this here. So he's saying, so a man thinks, so is he. But watch this here. Because you think that you're in hell don't mean you're in hell.
No, you listen.
Do you think you ugly?
Let me say something. If you think you, if I thought I was ugly, then guess what? I become ugly. Whatever you become.
If you told somebody, hold on. If you told somebody you look good, hold on, watch this.
Stop playing.
You ugly.
No, I look good.
Boy, you
I
ugly.
look good.
You so ugly. You make a baby cry.
Listen. He want to go to jokes. He always want to go to jokes. That was the past dude. They go to jokes when they don't want to go to real.
I'm talking about ugly on the inside.
Listen, gang.
See that? He talking about the outside. I said you ugly on the inside.
Okay, ugly on the inside equals ugly on the outside. Person can be very, very beautiful to the eye, but once you get to know them, it's like, ugh, they're so gross.
How you took it? See how you can take words and make it say what you want to say?
So was Jesus nice?
He was nice. Was
he nice?
Jesus always nice.
Well, then why the f you calling Jesus with his name Yahshua? Ain't no goddamn
Joshua is just
Yahshua's his name.
That's not in English.
That's his name.
I wasn't born. Look,
that's his name.
I wasn't born
Call him by his name.
in the Middle East. You was.
Yeah, you was too. You just don't know it. It's the Middle East right here. It's right here. Listen, he the dumb that thinks slaves came over here. He don't know they shipped slaves out and they sold them out of here, right?
Man.
He's still thinking that we came from somewhere else.
Listen,
he's an old fool. The biggest lie he ever told people, they gotta wait to get to heaven, right? When
So
Jesus
where
even
heaven
teach
at?
that, he tell everybody gotta wait to get to heaven.
So you in heaven now?
Yeah, heaven is a state of mind. It's consciousness.
First phase was to get up there, pick up the rocks, take the pictures, and get back. Okay, so we get there. We got all these vehicles all around the rim, and one of those nearly pushed us out of orbit to even get in there, halfway to the moon. It came right up next to us. Okay, and
we did it now.
So the public didn't hear the conversation. The damn thing's almost going to hit us. Communication, mission control right out of the vehicle. And so you get there, but you've spun around several times. You've taken all your pictures of all the stuff that's already there. You know where you want to be. And then as you make your first run, here's all these vehicles coming in. It's great big massive things. And they go park around the rim of where you got to land. Holy cats. So you land, we have to do our thing. And then the guy says, okay, go ahead and pick up some more rocks. And I know you have a problem, so do 2 or 3 of your additional missions and don't come back. Period.
So was that mission control telling him to do that, or was it the beings?
Well, in my opinion, it was his interpretation of what.
Oh no. Oh no, you don't. Not allowed.
The beings wanted. The mission control was not involved in that kind of remark. What was public available and what mission control saw at the top secret level are two different things. But in my judgment, Bill made up those words himself based on what he thought the reptilians were trying to say. I don't think you'll find in any NASA communications, even top secret, that they have a record of the reptilians saying anything. That would be my guess.
Did Bill know about any other secret Apollo missions?
Bill never talked to me about other missions except the plans that were done in Rocketdyne when he went to Rocketdyne, which were very extensive and long range. They were going to use the Nova craft, which were basically hydrogen-oxygen vehicles, to try to go to the nearest stars. But that, in my opinion, makes no sense. He did not imply to me that NASA had secret Apollo missions that he didn't know about, or that there were any. His view was that he knew all about the Apollo program and that there was no top secret part of it in terms of who went where.
Was he aware of any anti-gravitic craft at that time that were being used secretly?
The thing that puzzled me about Bill's long-range Apollo mission planning was that there were no indication of any anti-gravity units being involved. And you couldn't have done the missions that he was talking about to try to go to the planets of the 12 or 11 nearest stars without some sort of anti-gravity devices. And the planning details that he was involved in at Rocketdyne did not have any of that in it. So I concluded that either this long-range planning was intentionally, covertly ignoring the fact that we're going to be using anti-gravity and hope that people would not make the calculations and conclude you couldn't do it with liquid and nitrogen, hydrogen and oxygen. First,
Beautiful. This looks like my area. Where is this? This is totally Colorado. You can't tell me it's not. It's gotta be. Old. It's hard to say, really.
Project Bluebeam is fully underway, and I keep coming back to this point. I'm like, are we
I'd
actually
say-
seeing it unfold in real time? If not Bluebeam, why is it Bluebeam shaped, right? So we're looking at the world as a whole. The instability across the planet right now, from political, religious to war, things of that nature, keeping people fighting against one another to push more oppressive laws and things of that nature in to keep us controlled under the thumb. Now we're looking at sort of archaeological things and artifacts in nature. We've got the Bugosphere, we've got other archaeological digs as well. All these different things that are kind of making us question our origin. And the Bugosphere was dated apparently to 12,500 years ago. Are these actually fake artifacts to actually push this narrative forward? Now we got the weird rod that was found in the desert, which resembles the Bugosphere, which has all kinds of strange things. Now researchers are now looking at that and diving on that, much like the Bugosphere. We have Newsmax and things of that nature that are coming forward saying that like this 3 Atlas is redirected and it's coming towards Earth. We have a few other people in the field saying the exact same thing. Now we have NASA going offline.
I've heard from several different sources that it has changed trajectory or direction. So has it not? I think it has. And it can be explained, but at the same time,
As soon as the closest point to Mars, and we're getting no updates for any space agency that can really solidify what this thing is, you know. Is this the setting stone to kind of push this alien narrative forward? Some of the UFO sightings that we've definitely been seeing recently look holographic. Doesn't make any sense, like the drone incursions everywhere as well, keeping people scared and under the thumb once more to keep the fear factor at the forefront of everything that they want to be pushing at the moment, right? All we need now is a second coming of Christ or something of that nature, and some sort of voices that are going to be projected into everyone's head. And we know that the CIA and the US governments and things of that nature have that exact technology to push things and beam things into people's brains, minds and visual stuff. They're crazy. The technology they got is actually very scary, which is Bluebeam tier tech, right? We had Jeremy Corbell that came forward a little while ago saying that something is going to be revealed by the government, which is going to be the biggest lie to date, right? And I quote him right here. Your government now wants you to know one truth.
and also, if you do get the date right of when this stuff is supposedly supposed to happen, they're going to change it.
And that truth is that UFOs are real. They've already told you, sometimes when you want somebody to know the truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie. And that's coming. I have zero doubt that that lie is coming, right? And we've been drip-fed all of this juicy information to kind of get people hooked into the unknown, and now is the big lie coming? Are they brewing it up and they're actually going to unleash this on the masses? Or is all of this just a psyop of a psyop, you know? So Bluebeam originally was supposed to be the thing that's going to kind of unfold, but everyone knows what Bluebeam is. Then we've got all these players coming in like Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp and all that sort of stuff. I'm not saying they are fake, but who knows, or Dr. Greer and things of that nature. What if they're psyoping Bluebeam, but actually 3 Atlas and the things that are coming are real, actual aliens and craft and things of that nature, like 3 Atlas, you know, this is a real thing that's happening, but they're going to make you believe that that's fake.
Yeah, it's a whole, like, circle jerk. This is really happening. Well, the government's going to say this is happening because it's going to be this whole psyop. And it's not real, but in fact, it really is real. So it's just like, it makes you sound like you're crazy. Man, your plans work so perfectly. Truly.
I don't know, bruv. Right? It's just hella weird at the minute. What do you guys think?
Hella weird.
Help. Project Bluebeam is fully underway, and I keep coming back to this point. I'm like, are we actually seeing it unfold in real time? If not...
The Shanghai tunnels are a series of tunnels underneath Portland, Oregon. Now, they go back to the 1800s when...
Project Blue...
The Shanghai tunnels are a series of tunnels underneath Portland, Oregon.
Weird.
Now, they go back to the 1800s when they were actually built and used to Shanghai people. Now, a lot of creepy stories have came out of the Shanghai tunnels. This is one of them. Now, there was this man named Sean. Sean grew up in Portland, Oregon, and he worked downtown. And one day when he was going to work, he ran into this homeless man named Eli. And he felt really bad for him, so he gave him $10. Well, he continued to see Eli, and they ended up becoming friends, and he would constantly give him money like here and there. Well, one day he was downtown and he runs into Eli, and he gives him a couple bucks, and they start talking. And he asks Eli, you know, like, hey, have you ever heard of the Shanghai tunnels? And when he asked Eli that, Eli just kind of like tensed up and started shaking and was like visibly scared. And he's like, yeah, I know about the tunnels, but I don't like to talk about it. I had a friend who went down there, and he said he encountered something, and he's seen something down there.
And I thought he was going to go somewhere else, but this is kind of the same story in a different way. Like, I don't even know if he realizes that, but I think you're going to be okay with it, because I'm okay with it. Let's go on to the next thing.
Y'all nasty. Did y'all see that woman talking about how her husband flicks doo-doo around the house and thinks it's funny? Like his actual crusty dingleberries. He picks them out and flicks them around the house, like on the bed, the floor, the sheets, everywhere. Says she got in the car and rubbed her hand across the console and something stuck to her hand, and when she smelled it, she gagged. He flicking them in the car too. I'd be in jail. Ain't no love strong enough, baby. I ain't doing it. He used her towel after he took a shower and left skid marks on it. Are you be so fucking for real? She said she has to beg her husband to even take a shower, and when he does, he's still so dirty that he leaves skid marks on the towel afterwards. He talking about she never wants to go down on me. I wonder why. You smell like doo-doo.
Gross. I cannot listen to that. I'm sorry.
With all of these patches on. But it is the perfect time to tell you an array of horror films that I think you should watch this spooky season. And because the people that are watching this are watching from all over the world, if a film tickles your fancy, I would recommend that you type it into justwatch.com, and that'll tell you where you can find it in your region. We're going to start with the classic Dog Soldiers, the best horror film of all time, the best werewolf movie of all time, and one of the best films ever made, and I will not hear a bad word against it. Dog Soldiers is scary, it is funny, you fall in love with the characters, you don't want anything bad to ever happen to them. There's a dog, what more can you want? This film is criminally underrated, and I genuinely think I've seen it at least 20 times. Boys from County Hell is a film that I watched recently and I absolutely adored it. It is set in the north of Ireland. It is a vampire story and it is about an unlikely team who team up to take down this big scary vampire called Avertok, and it is great. It is funny. It is very moving. It is touching. It is a story about feeling like you don't belong in your home, feeling like your relationship with your parent is falling apart, and also fighting vampires at the same time. What more could you want? Wow. If you want a film that is like genuinely ghostly, scary, edgy or seat stuff, I would really recommend Host. Host came out during lockdown. It is filmed over Zoom, and it is a group of friends who get together over Zoom to have a seance for their friend's birthday. And this film is everything that is great about low budget horror because it's clever. It is
What was the first
Soldiers,
one?
the best horror film of all time, the best werewolf movie of all time, and one of the best films ever made. And I will not hear a bad word against in your home, feeling like your relationship with your parent is falling apart, and
Okay.
also fighting vampires at the same time. What more could you want? If you want a film that is like genuinely ghostly, scary, edge of your seat stuff, I would really recommend. And this film is everything that is great about low budget horror because it's clever. It is genuinely edge of your seat scary. You are constantly watching every screen on that Zoom to try and figure out where the next scare is coming from. It is so worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Now, I know this film isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, but absolutely shush yourself, okay? Because Creep from 2004 is great. You've got a scary creature on the London Underground, in the tunnels under London, that is kidnapping people. What more could you want? This film also stars Sean Harris, who I genuinely think is one of the best actors of this generation. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. And Sean Harris also stars in the next film that I'm going to recommend, which is Possum. Now, we are moving into territory which is much more darker and psychological. And Possum is all about a puppeteer who is somehow disgraced. We don't really know how. And he returns to his hometown. And genuinely, when I watched this film, I sort of sat staring into space for about a week afterwards. It is traumatizing, it is scary, it is dark,
Oh,
it is
no.
psychological. Sean Harris, again,
No,
is
can we
brilliant in
handle
it.
it?
And we're sticking with the theme of films that make you want to stare at the wall in silence. Saint Maud. Oh, this film did things to me. Saint Maud is a horror film that is all about the fragility of the human condition. And genuinely, I don't think a horror film has impacted me in the way that Saint Maud did, for real. And Morfydd Clark's performance in this film is genuinely outstanding. And I wanted to add an honourable mention here for Horse Girl, which stars Alison Brie. It came out, I think,
Sorry,
in
my earbuds
2020 as
fell
well.
out. My
In the
ears are
same
too
vein
tiny.
as Saint Maud, we are kind of watching a woman dissolve into psychosis. And honestly, this film stayed with me for ages. And I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves. So I watched The Coffee Table, right? And I didn't really know that much about it. And I honestly, again, just wanted to stare at the wall afterwards. It is about the human condition. It is about how we manage when things go terribly, terribly wrong, when things could not go any more wrong. How do we manage? How do we survive? How do our brains survive? I would recommend doing a Does the Dog Die search on this film if you have any particular triggers, because, oh, this film is tough. It is a tough watch. Sleep is another film that is definitely worth a watch because it kind of has that great balance between, is this psychological or is this supernatural? Like, I didn't know right up until the end of this film whether I thought that this was all psychological or whether there was actually something spooky going on. I'm also somebody who suffers from insomnia, and I have sleep-related disturbances where I talk in my sleep and walk in my sleep, and this film is genuinely terrifying. It follows a couple, and he starts talking in his sleep, and his parasomnia, like the weird things he does at nighttime, gets more and more disturbed and deranged and terrifying. And you are right there with the wife the entire time, being like, come on, babe, we got to figure this out because this is not going to end well. It is edge of your seat, nail biting. I don't know if this is a ghost or if this is all in his head or her head. It's so worth a watch. And moving away from the genuinely psychologically traumatic films to the just downright fun, I love the film Frogman. It is so silly. It is like an ode to found footage horror films like the Blair Witch Project. And it is all about the Loveland Frogman, which is a very real cryptid sighting that happened in Loveland in Ohio, where these sort of humanoid frogs were knocking around with magic wands. It was a whole thing. And Frogman is a film all about a group of friends who in their adult years go to hunt down Frogman because one of them believes that he saw Frogman when he was a child. It is so fun. I love this film. I loved it. It was great. Again, it's exactly what indie horror movie making should be. And finally, if you just want some good ghost stories, then Ghost Stories is the one for you. It follows a professor of psychology who is talking about 3 paranormal cases that he experienced that he couldn't quite explain. So the film is kind of broken up into 3 different ghost stories, and they are all connected in some way. And it is so good. Those stories are really scary. The 3 stories are terrifying. So you're kind of watching 3 movies in one. It's great. Watch it. Check it out. And if you want to know where you can watch these films in your region, go to justwatch.com. I use that website all the time. Also, if you've got like particular triggers and there are certain things that you find really difficult within films, I would highly recommend using the website doesthedogdie.com, because you can put in any film and your particular trigger and it will tell you exactly.
Do you remember what it was like to be alive? So there's this theory that we live in a black hole. That we're all dead, essentially. I know it sounds really nuts, but something happened in 2011 where CERN opens portals and creates something trying to find a Higgins particle. They made a miniature black hole. Now, what we do know scientifically is a black hole cannot be held for anything. In the vacuum of space, a black hole will still eat any matter that it can find, grow exponentially. Here recently, we found out that black holes grow a lot faster than we know. So if CERN openly admits that they did create an artificial miniature black hole in 2011, boop, 2012 happens. Now suddenly we're seeing all these weird glitches. Airplanes sitting still. Mandala effects. You got Kit Kat. No longer does it have Kit-Kat. It's Kit Kat. What the fuck? Jiffy peanut butter is now Jif. Hey Jif. Something weird clearly is going around. Now we didn't know that we possibly, sounds crazy, could be in a black hole until we launched the James Webb Space Telescope. Now with the James Webb, it can look back up to 300 million years after the Big Bang. Here's what's crazy. The entire universe, as far as we can see it, is swinging this direction. Us? We're witnessing something like Event Horizon, which is what's around the black hole, and once it's there, nothing can escape it. We're spinning this way. What the fuck? Sounds really crazy, but there's a lot of evidence that backs this up. So is this the reason why CERN is openly trying to open portals again? Like what they had last time where they were dressed demonic in goat outfits and all this weird stuff? For science, right? Everything for science. But are we trying to open a portal so we can get back to that universe? Think about it. Before 2012, if someone said that they seen a UFO, it was straight jackets, zippers, and medication, yeah? Now, how many of you have seen a UFO or
Did he just say 2012? That's when I came out of the paranormal closet. I'm like, F it. I don't care anymore. Like, if I were this mom, I'd want somebody to help me. So, that's what I tried to do. I didn't care anymore what people thought. Weird.
A phenomenon in the sky? It just seems very normal now. Is that interfering in our reality? Or are we in their reality and we're just able to see it now? I'm not sure. My name is Armin. Welcome to The Imperfect. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please consider dropping a follow. It means the world to me. I'll follow you back the first chance I get. I'm still...
Hey guys, I'm in my car and I have all this going on in the background. I have no idea what is going on. This is coming through my radio. I have zero idea where it is coming from. Does anybody have an idea of what I'm listening to? Please let me know if you do. This is something I've never seen before, nor I'm not sure if I want to hear it again. If someone's trying to contact me, that'd be great. I would like to know if it's aliens or not.
But the metal co-talkers. What the hell? the hell? There's something in my wall. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Arizona. That's not how you spell Arizona. Arizona.
Hey guys, I'm in my car and I have all this going on in the background. I have no idea what is going on. This is coming through my radio. I have zero idea where it is coming from. Does anybody have an idea of what I'm listening to? Please let me know if you do. This is something I've never seen before, nor I'm not sure if I want to hear it again. If someone's trying to contact me, that'd be great. I would like to know if it's aliens or not. Hey guys, I'm in my...
There was this Bigfoot researcher named Ralph. Now, Ralph had spent his whole life looking for Bigfoot. And he said, you know, in all these years, he had never had an actual encounter. And he said that was really all he wanted more than anything was to experience firsthand Bigfoot. Now, he said he had heard about some Bigfoot sightings in northern Wisconsin near this Native American reservation. And so he made his way out to this area to stay for a couple of weeks. So he said when he got there, he met with this Native American man who knew the woods around this area pretty well. And he was talking with this guy, you know, if I want to see, you know, what you guys describe as Bigfoot, like where would I go? And so this guy, you know, gets out a map and he says, you know, I would check in this area and this area. Well, as Ralph is looking at this map, he notices there's an area that's circled and kind of crossed off. And Ralph's like, what is in this area? And he said, no, I don't talk about that. And he said, well, you know, like, is there something there? Like, and he says, look, do not go there. And he said, what do you mean? He said, that's where the young ones live. And he goes, what do you mean young ones? And he said, that's where the young ones of their kind, that is their home. They stay there. And it's a very dangerous place. Like, do not go to this place. So Ralph's like, okay, yeah, I'll stay away from there. But in his mind, he's thinking, you know, for sure, I'm going to go and check this place out. So he sets off on this expedition through the woods. And sure enough, he makes his way onto the map to the area that's crossed out. So he said he gets there during the day and, you know, he starts looking around this area, setting up equipment. He doesn't have any experiences. And he's like, you know, maybe he was just trying to scare me because, like, there is nothing here. Like, I'm looking for signs of Bigfoot. I don't see any footprints, markings, you know, anything that would indicate that he would be in this area. But he decides, you know what, I'll stay a night and see what happens. So nightfall comes and it's completely dark. He has nothing but a flashlight at this time. And he is just kind of, you know, sitting around waiting for something to happen. Well, in his backpack, he had brought this recording of a baby crying because there was this theory that Bigfoot may respond to young children crying. So he plays this recording on this CD player he has, and you could hear a baby crying throughout the woods. And he said, you know, it was such a still, calm night that it probably was traveling like a very, very good distance. And he said as soon as he puts this sound on, right, he can hear something crashing through the woods, and it's coming right towards his direction. And he said in various other places around him, he could hear like these crashing sounds. And then he proceeded to hear like these really loud screams. And he said at this moment, like, he started to panic because he's like, oh no, like, what did I do? I'm out here all alone. Like, this is crazy. So he said he got down on the ground and he just like started bawling. And he's like, please, I'm sorry I came here. Like, please just leave me alone. Please. And he said the screams just kept getting worse and worse. And the only thing he could think of was just to walk on his hands and knees and kind of crawl out of this area.
Oh,
So he began
no.
crawling, and he said all around him he could just hear these things screaming and moving and running by him. And this whole time, it's completely dark. He doesn't want to turn on his flashlight and see what is out there. So he said he just kept crawling and crawling. And he said the next thing he knows, he felt what he thought was a weird rock. And he said he turned on the flashlight, and he could see that he was grabbing a very large, hairy foot. So he hurried up, turns off his flashlight, and he said he got up and he just took off running. And he said whatever this was, it just chased him the whole way, but it never went up to him or physically hurt him. It was just trying to scare him. And he said after he had made it a few miles away from this place, everything quieted down. And he said after that, he
It's
knew
crazy.
that Bigfoot was real, and he knew never to go back to that area again. What was this Bigfoot research?
So they went to
You got your warning,
Earth,
buddy.
and we're right past the year 3000. He's coming in over Earth. There's no roads, there's no planes, there's no boats. So he thinks something terrible happened and humans are gone. They're like, no, we evolved. Now we have what's called Human Plus. They have, under trees, like oak trees, cherry blossoms, different trees, have different types of beings. These human avatars. What he finds out is in the future, humans have evolved to where they don't need to be in the physical body anymore. So that instead of having out-of-body experiences, they have in-body experiences, right? There's this ring, kind of like Saturn's ring around Earth. And that ring is called the dorm. And that's where all the souls are, the human consciousnesses. And they're there in the non-physical. They've ascended to the point where they don't need the physical body. But they still use the physical body for certain things. They use it to produce loosh. They figured out what loosh is and what their role in the loosh production is. And also for R&R. And then also just for having experience. Producing qualia is like a subjective personal consciousness experience. So when you have an experience, you make a free will decision, it generates emotions and learning. That's qualia. And that's how we develop at a consciousness level. Okay, so they come in as souls, as consciousnesses, and they'll come down and they'll just kind of go into a body. And the same way that we would rent a car, I don't know, I want to rent a Lamborghini this weekend and cruise around and have some fun. They would do that with the bodies. And when they describe these bodies, they always describe them as being in tip-top shape. I'm very lean, youthful, vibrant, healthy, muscular. So they went to Earth, and we're right past the year 3000. He's coming in over Earth. There's no roads, there's no planes, there's no boats. So he thinks something terrible happened and humans are gone. They're like, no, we evolved. Now we have what's called Human Plus. They have, under trees, like oak trees, cherry blossoms, different trees, have different types of beings. These human avatars. What he finds out is in the future, humans have evolved to where they don't need to be in the physical body anymore. So that instead of having out-of-body experiences, they have in-body experiences, right? There's this ring, kind of like Saturn's ring around Earth. And that ring is called the dorm. And that's...
Hello, and welcome to all new and existing members of the We Do Not Care Club.
Yo, big love to everybody that's here, everybody that's been here.
The new Ed Gein series discusses in depth the crimes of Ilse Koch, a notorious figure in Nazism known as the Bitch of Buchenwald. And her story is even more disturbing in real life than it is on the show. So this is Ilse and her husband Karl Otto. Both of them were members of the Nazi Party in Germany. And in July of 1937, Karl Otto took control of the Buchenwald concentration camp. Ilse, her husband Karl Otto, and their children lived in a 3-story commandant house at the concentration camp, and it was there at Buchenwald where Ilse's disturbing crimes really began. After the war ended, Ilse was accused of selecting certain Jewish prisoners to be killed specifically for their skin, and she supposedly had decorative objects like lampshades and book bindings made out of the Jewish prisoners' human flesh. When the Buchenwald camp was eventually liberated, they found a collection of human organs that had been obviously taken from prisoners that were murdered and stored in bizarre ways. According to many survivors of the camp, Ilse was an absolutely evil woman who had frequently made use of slave labor and had overseen many projects that led to numerous deaths. Now, interestingly, even before the camp was liberated, Ilse's husband, Karl Otto, was arrested by German authorities and was actually executed there at the camp. And eventually, US authorities arrested Ilse in 1945, and she was convicted of crimes against prisoners at a military tribunal in Dachau. However, controversially, her sentence was reduced to just 4 years in prison for her alleged widespread, extremely disturbing crimes. So in 1949, Ilse was released. But immediately afterwards, she was rearrested by German authorities. She had another trial, and she was then sentenced to life imprisonment. Ilse spent the rest of her life in isolation, trapped in a prison cell, And she told those around her that while she was in prison for these crimes, she had constant delusions and visions of prisoners chasing and pursuing her, prisoners that she had played a part in killing herself. And in 1967, she self-deleted at the age of 60. She was found hanging in her jail cell with a note that said, "There is no other way. Death is a release for me." I thought this was really interesting that they portrayed her story in the Monster series. But when it comes to crimes carried out at concentration camps all throughout Europe, there are really so many other stories that even get more disturbing that we could talk about, because it is up for debate whether or not she actually carried out the crimes that she was accused of. Like, for example, some people don't think she actually had prisoners selected to be used for their skin. Some people have claimed that this was overblown, but the real truth of the situation, I guess, continues to remain buried to this day. The new Ed Gein.
Yeah, I'd say. Anywho's, boys and girls, holy shnikes. I was hoping to end on a positive note, but it appears we shall not be doing that. We shan't. Ed Gein. I guess there's a lot of people, like, he's got a little fan club going on these days, and there was an article that said people that are fans of Ed Gein are basically mental. Like, they're crazy. There's something wrong with them. But it's about Halloween time, and Halloween time is about crazy, sometimes disgusting and unflattering things. Just gotta embrace it. It's Halloween time. But you guys, thank you so much once again for hanging out with me tonight on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. It was awesome hanging out with you. It was a pleasure entertaining you. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thank you to all my friends out there, wherever you may be out there, beyond the waters, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, StreamYard, Spreaker, I don't know, all over the place. Can't wait to do it again. I'm going to say it next weekend, but I'm going to try like a Monday show and then a Wednesday show like these days. It's just me and those chickens and you guys, so I'm going to try to pick up some more days with you. Don't forget, we're all in this together. Together we can make the world a bit better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you, there is no us. In the meantime, if you have the means, ability, or you're just feeling a bit generous, feel free to fling or sling some green my way. You can send check for money order to PO Box 663, Vehicle, Colorado 84122, Cash App at $TessaTNT, PayPal @TessaTNT, and then Venmo at Tessa-Thomas-Peterson. Night night, little night. You guys take care of my use, and I will see you back here shortly.